Vinny Testeverde's offense that will be coming to the line of scrimmage, the Heisman Trophy candidate.
Melvin Bratton, the left halfback, an outstanding, exciting runner, vaults into the end zone.
Alonzo Highsmith, watch his blocking today for Vinny.
And Charles Henry, the tight end, got his chance when Willie Smith, the tight end of a year ago, went pro.
Now here are the weapons outside. Brian Blades is 9 and Michael Irvin is 47. Great speed. Miami may be running today on first down. They may play some muscle, but no, they're not here. Testeverde, and his receiver is covered, and down he goes. Richard Reed, 96, led the assault for the Sooners. Now here's the offensive line that will have to pass block throughout this afternoon. John O'Neill's the left tackle. How about the rest of them, Era?
Dave Olechna is an intelligent and consistent football player. Rakosi at center, great athlete and a big man. And Paul O'Connor, their best pass blocker. Matt Patchen coming back off of a foot injury.
This is a 2nd and 14 for Testeverde. With time, he throws to his tight end, Henry. And Brian Bosworth with his first tackle.
Brent, he had Alonzo Highsmith out into the right flat, wide open. I don't know if we can see it from this angle. He's got an open formation. You see Testeverde. Now watch the tight end slip underneath here. Right there. Henry gets it right in the middle, but out to the right was Alonzo Highsmith wide open.
This brings up a 3rd and 8. Because Testeverde was sacked on first down, he has had to throw on 2nd and 3rd. There's a nickel, 5 defensive backs for the Sooners. Testeverde checks off at the line. He will run Bratton. It's 3 downs with Bosworth, the first to hit him, number 44.
There's Bosworth, number 44. Everybody's All-American. Great linebacker, flowing with the play. Bratton comes off tackle to the left, makes a second effort. He shakes loose from Bosworth. And I'm telling you, this is the kind of guy that vaults into the end zone. He was trying to stretch for that first down.
Jeff Beagles standing back 15 yards. Patrick Collins is the deepest man for the Sooners. And the fair catch over on the 38-yard line by Ricky Dixon. Now let's take a look at this Oklahoma offense that will be coming up with the wishbone. Jamel Holloway from California is the quarterback. What about his receivers?
Yeah, split end, a walk-on, came on as a quarterback. Derek Shepard, and then Keith Jackson. This guy is sensational. I said, how fast is he to the coaches? He said, no one's ever caught him.
Number of running backs will be used. Spencer Tillman is 20. Lydell Carr is 45. Patrick Collins, 33. So here is the wishbone. Carr is the fullback. He is the closest to Holloway. And Carr comes up the middle. On first down, they give to the fullback, and Bill Hawkins, number 54, led the defense. This is the offensive line that will open the way now for the Sooners this afternoon. Greg Johnson at right tackle.
Big guy. Anthony Phillips, 4'7", at 280 pounds at right guard. Travis Simpson, who broke his ankle in the 9th game last year, is back again. Mark Hudson, a very good technician at left guard, and John Phillips at left tackle.
The Phillips are brothers. Now, one of the halfbacks flanked outside, and they come with Tillman. Tillman for a first down, and across the 45 with Vinny Blades hauling him down.
That's the right side of the line that I was talking about, the great blockers. Take a look from the end zone here. You'll see the ball handed off. Now watch the hole open up. A nice job of blocking in there by Keith Jackson, the tight end spot.
That was the right side of that line. Watch Anthony Phillips and Greg Johnson. Here is the power. This is a play they rehearsed all week down in Norman. Fullback lead with a halfback behind him. Now Carr, the fullback, is stacked up. And that was Derwin Jones, who got across first and had an arm on him. Number 86 busted that play up and put Oklahoma in 2nd and long, where they don't want to be in the wishbone. Here's the defense. Bill Hawkins, who's been on one stop, already there. Jerome Brown is the All-American. Derwin Jones just made the stop. Big one. And 96 Dan Stubbs. He'll be very active. The linebackers, and we'll pick it up here in a moment. 2nd and 11. Holloway will pitch to the outside man. And that is Collins, who comes to the 35-yard line with Selwyn Brown, 32, bringing him down.
Looked like Holloway just might have gotten a shot right at the end there. I saw him trying to shake it off. This is the option, their favorite play. Makes a good fake to Carr, the fullback. Comes to the outside here and deals off. Beautiful. There he got the shot right there. That could have been called. That's Jerome Brown that hit a forearm in the head.
Jerome Brown made 16 stops in Norman last year in that game. This is 3rd and 4 for Holloway and the Sooners. Tillman. And Rod Carter stepped in, and Barry Switzer may be short. Let's see where they spot it. They're going to have to measure it. No, it's a first down. They won't even take a look at it. They'll move the chains.
Brent, the coaches of Oklahoma told me that right side of that line had Anthony Phillips, which I said can move about 475 at 280 pounds, and Greg Johnson are tremendous blockers.
Now the rest of the defense will pick up with George Myra Jr. 45. He's the middle linebacker. Rod Carter is the other man on the outside. On first down, they run Patrick Collins, and Bubba McDowell, number 48, takes him down. In that defensive secondary, already Bubba McDowell has stepped in there to play along with Don Ellis. What about Ellis's responsibility?
He's going to play man-on-man on the single receiver most of the day.
Selwyn Brown is back there at strong safety, shaking off that injury that Era told you about. Vinny Blades, great speed back at free safety. Now Bubba McDowell starting there at that position, number 48.
Bubba's a vicious tackler, an excellent run support man.
2nd and 7. Here's Tillman. And another Oklahoma first down. Blades, number 36. Hammered him down right there. Harold, what do we see with the wishbone here already on the part of Oklahoma?
One of the things that impressed me, Brent, right on that play and other plays that they ran the option, is the blocking that this Oklahoma team gets downfield from their flanker backs, from their lead people. They do a good job on secondary people, which is very hard to block a secondary guy because he has so many ways to go. They executed it well there.
Miami went 3 downs and out. Oklahoma on the move with its first possession. Down near the 20, and Carr. Cut by Holloway to the outside that time, who had faked splendidly to Carr and moved around the right side. McDowell back there to bring him down. He is an elusive one.
It's going to be tough for the Miami Hurricanes. They're doing a good job on this first drive overall, but Jamel does a great job of faking into the fullback. It's hard to determine whether he has it, and the fullback seems to be cheated up, getting there very quickly.
He had me faked out of the ballpark that time, Coach. 2nd and 7. Holloway's first pass out of the end zone, incomplete. Keith Jackson, his All-America tight end, was the intended target.
Everything but the execution. You'll see from the end zone, Keith Jackson to your left, releases off the line. Good fake there by Jamel. There he throws the ball. He throws it over his head. If he had dropped it in there, they could have had a score. He was open.
Vinny Blades was in on the coverage. Anthony Stafford, number 25, replaces Collins on 3rd and 7. Can't come around the corner. Winston Moss, number 99, stormed in on the Sooner quarterback, and they will attempt a field goal.
If you'll see here, there's an unbalanced line. Oklahoma has gone. Now watch 99. Moss step in here and take Jamel Holloway. Oklahoma was trying to unbalance the line and stretch the wide side of the field, but Miami did an excellent job with Moss coming up and doing the job on Holloway.
A 38-yard attempt by Tim Lasher, who kicked 4 on New Year's night here against Penn State. No good. to Lasher on this Oklahoma field goal attempt.
Taking a second look at it, it's like in golf. It was a pulled hook. The impulse to hit too soon, you see right here, and he pulls the ball to the left and low.
Miami's second possession. They were 3 downs and out, and all week long they rehearsed running on first down, and then they came out passing. Now let's see what they do on this first down. Now they come with the run. This was the game plan, and that was Alonzo Highsmith behind the right side. I want to take a look at this Oklahoma defense now. Darrell Reed, number 40. He's one of the outside ends. Richard Reed is no relation at tackle.
Curtis Williams, starting at the middle guard, started against this ball club a year ago. Steve Bryan, a fine player. Troy Johnson, really a hard-charging end.
2nd and 8 for Testeverde in Miami. Checks off again. It's Bratton swinging to the left, and he is cut off. And Brian Bosworth, number 44, hammered him as a penalty flag comes down.
Looks like it might have been a holding penalty. Could have been a match, though. I didn't see it from this far side. Let's see what it is. Holding. Yep.
Well, here's a young man who was talking about Jimmy Johnson and all the Hurricanes from Norman, and he is putting up here this afternoon in the Orange Bowl.
Oh, he does an excellent job right there of avoiding the center. Rakosi steps right in there on Bratton, and he gets a lot of help from the other Sooners. They took the penalty. I was wondering whether or not they take the penalty, Brent, or the down. But for this kind of passing attack, it would be a tough choice. They've taken the penalty here, though.
So the ball is marked at the 15-yard line of the Hurricanes. They have a 2nd down and 17 yards to go for the first down. Irvin's open.
Boy, if he could have thrown the ball just a tad sooner, he had him wide open, waited just a second too long, and then overthrew him, trying to throw the ball a little too far. Let's take an isolated look here. You see Irvin, number 47, Irvin. He comes right down, breaks to the inside. Now, right there, if Testeverde would have delivered the ball, but he goes another 10 or 15 yards, and then the ball is thrown over. Still, it would have been close to a touchdown on the play had he been able to hit him.
He was between Lonnie Finch, number 9, and the free safety Ricky Dixon, number 29. Brett Perriman comes into the game. The tight end is out, and there are 3 wide receivers. 3rd and 17. Diving catch at the 36-5, Perriman. And Miami pulls a first down on a 21-yard gain.
What a beautifully executed play here. You'll see Perriman come in from the left side. He gets deeper than the linebackers and in front of the secondary. Bratton holds the linebacker, and Testeverde puts the ball. Oh, what a great catch by Perriman. Beautiful reception.
Michigan with a dogfight today.
Ooh.
1st and 10 for the Hurricanes. No score. Just underway here in the Orange Bowl. Number 1 against number 2. Blades in motion. They bring Bratton, and he is cut off hard by you-know-who, Bosworth, number 44. What a game he is off to. Oh, let's meet some of these other personalities. Miliazzo is back there along with Dante Jones. Jones and Miliazzo have been rotating next to Bosworth so far here this afternoon. Now the secondary men, we'll see Lonnie Finch, excellent on coverage.
Ricky Dixon, a very, very fine football player at free safety. And the top guy, very intelligent in the backfield. Derek White, a 5'9", 188 of Lubbock, Texas.
Second and 9. Underneath the Bratton. And again, a helmet goes off. And this time it is Bosworth's helmet that falls to the ground. And you get a look at his hairdo.
Just a little short pass underneath in front of the linebackers this time. Testeverde's looking downfield and turns to the right, and he sees Bratton right here in front of the linebackers. Bratton tries to fake him out, but watch Bosworth, number 44, step in here with a lot of help. Boy, does he hit. Woo!
They're going to have to carry me off this field, he said at the top of the broadcast. 3rd and 6. Over the middle to the tight end, Henry. He is stopped short. No first down. He got out to the 45-yard line.
Lonnie Finch, number 9, also there.
Let's take a look at number 44, Bosworth, who has been all over the field. Has the tight end measured, and Henry spins beautifully away from him. And that time, the Boz came up slightly empty. But the Hurricanes do not get a first down. So they will be punting, and it'll be Jeff Beagles. High punt. Collins, fair catch, fumbles, recovered, I believe, by Oklahoma right at the 16. Yes, they recover that fumble. A 38-yard punt. Unusual to see a Sooner drop a punt. They are so sure-handed on punts, and they will not let them go. They make the catch right there. Save about 10 or 15 yards. A good one brewing, isn't it?
Light Fighters, the new light infantry.
Full afternoon here in Miami to be up in the Goodyear blimp, and we're getting some fine shots from overhead. No score, Aaron. We've got 3:41 left in the first quarter.
The breeze coming out of the east, and I'm sure it's helpful to these players because the humidity is over 80%, and you know it's going to take its toll as this game comes forward.
Well, Barry Switzer is already substituting liberally in that backfield. Holloway is still the quarterback. Brings it outside to the lane. And he steps out of bounds near the 32-yard line. Selwyn Brown giving chase.
You can see why Jamel Holloway is the leading receiver. They faked the halfback, or he might have made a mistake there. I'm not sure. But the left halfback went the wrong way. I think it was Spencer Tillman. Now he comes, he hits that seam. And you can see the kind of speed he has. He gets to the corner, makes a first down. That's why he's the leading ground gainer on the Oklahoma Sooners football team, a 14-yarder.
And a first down at the 30. There was movement on the left side of the offensive line as the flag comes down.
John Phillips, I think it was, the left tackle. They went into an unbalanced line. The Sooners did.
Let's go down to Pat O'Brien. Pat. Well, the mic wasn't working. We didn't need the mic, Pat. We saw that T-shirt. What's a Bosworth? Not too much here in Miami, but I want to tell you, folks, he is a good football player. Now, I know he makes all those outrageous quotes, but you go to an Oklahoma practice and watch him listen to the coaches and go through that, and you come away with great respect for him. He reminds me of a professional wrestler, a fellow by the name of Gorgeous George. You know who else copied that routine? Another athlete by the name of Muhammad Ali. And it's all right to talk big, but you better be ready to back it up, and so far Bosworth is. Holloway again. Oh, is he slippery?
Coaches were telling me that you don't realize how strong he is. He's much stronger than most people suspect because he appears to be small, but he's physically strong.
Barry Switzer moved him into the starting lineup because last year Jimmy Johnson's defense accidentally broke the leg of Troy Aikman. It was Jerome Brown who stormed in on him. Aikman is now out at UCLA. He is fine passing quarterback, and Holloway runs this triple option superbly for Switzer and the Sooners. Second down and about 7, and storming in on Spencer Tillman is Danny Stubbs, number 96.
Boy, Stubbs is a great football player, leading sacker on this football team a year ago. Very quick, and they're counting on him, and he certainly delivered right there. Take a look at ground level. Look to your left side of your screen. You'll see Stubbs penetrate, come all the way through, and make the play on Tillman. Nice job by Stubbs.
Here is 3rd and 9. This is a down and distance that Oklahoma is not comfortable with. He keeps only one running back behind the quarterback. Running the quarterback draw. Short of the first down. Oklahoma will have to punt his middle linebacker George Myra, number 45, and Vinny Blades, 36, sealed it up.
That was a good thought. The quarterback draw from the open formation. We'll look at it from the ground level. You'll see Holloway come back, take a quick look, then come right up the middle here. He does escape a couple of would-be tacklers. Jerome Brown, 98, was one of them. And finally, Myra steps in here, number 45, right there, and stops him. And short of a first down.
Mike Winchester to punt for the Sooners. Harriman, number 33, at the 22. He eluded 3 would-be tacklers, but cannot get the corner turned before he runs out of real estate. 1:16 to go in the first quarter. It's 1 versus 2, and no blood yet. Miami, along with the coach, Ara Parsegan. I'm Brent Musburger. Glad to have you along with us. Number 1, Oklahoma, and number 2, Miami. Both scoreless with 1:16 to go in the first quarter. Ara, what has been the storyline as we look at Hurricane coach Jimmy Johnson?
Well, Jimmy Johnson's football team has played relatively well. They've had open receivers, and I'm sure there'll be more of them, but I would say Oklahoma, this has been basically a defensive battle thus far.
Ball is on the 20 at the start of this series. Incomplete. You saw Bosworth waiting for Henry to come off the line, and he went downfield with him that time.
From up here, it appeared that he might be open. Here's an end zone shot, but the ball is slightly overthrown. Right here, you'll see he's trying to drop the ball into Henry, number 82, and he takes a real shot from Ricky Dixon right there. Great block. I mean, great tackle attempt.
Another look at it, and keep an eye on number 29 as he comes right in there, as Ara pointed out, and Bosworth was chasing. If there's a question about Bosworth as a pro, it would be regarding his pass coverage. Testeverde off a play fake, drops it down over the middle to Alonzo Highsmith, and he is battered down near the 38. Short of the first down, and that was Paul Migliazzo. Talk about a linebacker who doesn't get much attention. How would you like to line up next to Brian Bosworth? Well, that's what the senior from Kansas City has been doing, and he's a good one.
He's a graduate student at Oklahoma, so he's kind of a senior member out there.
Well, here is 3rd and 1. Highsmith.
He's got it.
It keeps this drive going then for the Hurricanes.
First and 10 Hurricanes at the 40-yard line.
The ball is at the 40-yard line for Testeverde. That Sooner defense waiting. It's a 5-man front and 4 defensive backs.
He's got leverage at the corner.
And Bratton comes outside with a good hard run that time before Finch was able to tackle him.
Boy, that Bratton is really a fine back. 6'1", 217 pounds, and he just thrust himself. Member of the University of Miami track team. He's a good one.
We've come to the end of the first quarter. Oklahoma and Miami are scoreless. We'll be right back after this message and a word from your local station.
I'm with you back in the Orange Bowl, getting ready for the second quarter. It's very, very warm here. It's a little over 90 degrees, and humidity has got to be 120, Brent. Players have fans, as you saw. They have lots of water, lots of oxygen, and this heat and humidity can wear you down, as you well know, Brent. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, Pat, and I think we can see there is also, along with that fan, just the slightest of breezes, which is now at Testeverde's back as he comes to the line of scrimmage. It is 2nd and 3, and it is Bratton, and he does not get the first down. He is stuffed by Steve Bryan, 86, who led the defensive charge. His brother's a good one with the Atlanta Falcons.
I think both teams are going to have to do a lot of substituting, because in the 4th period, there's no question that this sun and this humidity takes a big toll on you. I experienced that directly here in this Orange Bowl.
3rd and 2 for the Hurricanes. Highsmith does not get it. Troy Johnson, the right defensive end, number 80.
Great piece of defensive work by the entire Sooner team, but Troy Johnson, number 80. You watch the penetration. Bratton gets a good job, block number 5, and there he is. Troy Johnson, outstanding speed. He was a tight end for 2 years, now playing defense.
Miami forced the punt here early in the 2nd quarter.
They had to win, too. I thought they put that ball up. They could have gotten the first down. They could have been a real scoring threat.
Jeff Beagles. And a fair catch. Fumble. Miami signaling that they have it. There it is. Indeed, they do. The first big break of this game. And it was Eric Ham, a junior fullback. But hold everything.
I don't know whether it was someone within 2 yards.
You know what I heard, Aaron?
Yes.
I heard a whistle as the ball was coming down toward the man making the fair catch. And I don't know whether it was someone in the stands, but I distinctly heard a whistle. There is a look at it. It went right through his hands. No question that Ham recovered it. But they are now signaling that the Hurricanes will punt it again, and Johnson is furious. Johnson has his hands raised. Switzer yelling from across the way. Now, it hasn't really been explained to the coaches. A timeout is being charged Oklahoma. Barry Switzer wants that return team over around him. They've dropped the last 2 punts. Jimmy Johnson is going to get it sorted out. We will try to find out what happened.
I'm not sure exactly, Brent. He's trying to explain it now to Jimmy Johnson. Whether there was a whistle there.
I distinctly heard a whistle, and I thought, how unusual. I mean, he hadn't even touched the ball yet. I thought maybe it was somebody over here in the band that I had heard, and now I'm wondering. Switzer had to have a lecture for his punt return team. Normally, they are extremely sure-handed. Well, we will still seek that out with Pat O'Brien down on the field to find out what happened for you. Meanwhile, Miami punting again. Bad snap, picked up. They didn't have a rush on, and he booms one. Find the ball! It bounces on into the end zone. On the touchback, it'll come out to the 20. A 52-yard punt. But Oklahoma breathes a sigh of relief because they've got the ball.
Go shot for shot with a formidable opponent. Find out what you're made of. That's the communications game MCI plays every day. MCI competes by investing over $1 billion a year to keep our network the industry's most modern. We know our competition's good. We have to be better. And because we compete, you win. MCI. Communications for the next 100 years.
Brian, have you got the answer for us on what happened on that play?
Yes, I do, Brent. The officials tell me that it was an inadvertent whistle on a loose ball. The rule is you play the down over again. Let's go back to you, Brent.
So indeed it was a whistle I heard just before the ball made contact and slipped right through his hands. What a break this is for Oklahoma. Miami would have had its first serious scoring threat, but instead here come the Sooners. It is very difficult to hear at that end in the Orange Bowl. It's going to be tough for Holloway. I've seen pro quarterbacks with a lot of difficulty down here. Now, Errol, what's the rule on crowd noise?
When that whistle blows, it's a dead ball, Brent. It's all over with. It's most unfortunate for the Hurricanes under the circumstances.
But what about the crowd noise now, the situation facing Holloway? What happens here? How many warnings does the crowd get?
Well, it varies with various conferences. Now, he gets 2 warnings. He'll get 2 warnings. Then he'll come to the sideline and ask for help from the coaches to quiet the crowd down. If the crowd doesn't quiet down, they will announce over the PA system, if you don't allow them to run the play, we will charge you a timeout or a 5-yard penalty. Now, that was the first one.
The Miami players, Jerome Brown, trying to quiet the crowd. Holloway sticks it right into the stomach of Lydell Carr, the fullback, which is the easiest play to run in that situation.
Noise is deafening. He did want to get a play off, I guess. He could have asked for a discretionary timeout again. There was a lot of crowd noise, but try to take it out of it, as you pointed out, to run a play, get it going again. Well,
2nd and 8 for the Sooners. This is a tough down and distance for a wishbone attack. Oklahoma and Miami going after the loose ball. Stubbs had jarred the ball loose. Inside the 5-yard line it went. And Greg Johnson finally tumbled on it for the Sooners. Another break for Oklahoma.
what a job Stubbs does right there when he holds on to Jackson so he can't get to the ball. Beautiful job there of defense. Miami has the ball at about the 3.5-yard line, Brent. Big play. He didn't get it back? I thought he had gotten the ball back.
3rd down and 26. They cannot hear at all. The Miami players are trying to quiet the crowd down at that end of the field. And they've turned the heat up on Switzer and the Sooners here in the Orange Bowl.
He sure doesn't like this series of downs. You got a break on the inadvertent whistle. Another break here on the recovery. They're backed up right deep in their own territory.
And with a wishbone team, he must be very careful about putting it up down here. Ball being spotted down at the 3. The Sooners come out. They need 27 yards. Tillman. Well, he got him a little breathing room for the punter.
A little better position to kick the ball than they certainly were back at that 3.5-yard line. Just run the ball off tackle with Tillman. No high-risk play, and Tillman does get enough yardage to get him out where they have a decent kicking position. Good blocking over the left side. 68 Phillips pulls and makes a good block.
Winchester standing back in his own end zone.
They got close last time on the rush, Frank.
He gets it out to the other side of the 50, where a fair catch is called for by Perriman. A fine 43-yard punt. We'll be right back. There's no score. Here are this week's Toyota Leadership Awards to the team players who have been singled out by their school's coaching and faculty staff for outstanding performance in the areas of team contributions and academics. And today's game team leadership winners are Evan Gatewood from Oklahoma. He's a senior finance major, a 3-point grade point average from Dallas. And Dave Alekna. He's a senior MBA computer science major with a 3-point grade point average from Oak Lawn, Illinois. And Toyota will donate a check in the amount of $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund. It has been a dandy so far. No score and a lot of raw emotion. Testeverde on first down. Perriman, and it is knocked away at the last second on that far sideline. Ricky Dixon, number 29, the free safety, moving over error.
What a great job Dixon did. Here from the end zone, Dixon covers an awful lot of ground. If you can just see him, he gets over here just before. Look at Dixon right there. What a marvelous defensive job.
He is perhaps the best all-around athlete in that secondary for Barry Switzer. He's the center fielder, and he made like Willie Mays that time, didn't he? Second down and 10. Time, and he hits Irvin, fumble, and recovered by Miami. Alfredo Roberts, the tight end, pounced on the loose ball.
Here's a ground level look at it again. They're getting deeper than the defenders this time. Testeverde backs up. Irvin comes right in behind the linebackers. Testeverde throws right between them, but this contact right there shakes that ball loose. But the Hurricanes recovered.
And it was again Dixon. Turned in a superb defensive job on Irvin. A 10-yard gain and a first down for the Canes. They'll run Williams behind the right side of that offensive line. Getting close to the 40. Arrow, what I'm seeing right now is that Miami's offensive line seems to want to put a little muscle on the Sooners here.
Well, the Sooners did a great job in the first quarter in stopping the run, but you can see from up here that there were receivers that were open, and that's going to set up their running game for them.
Well, the Prudential College Football Report is coming up at half. Jim Nance will fill us in on everything. That was a 6-yard gain by Williams, who has replaced Bratton. This is Williams again, and Bryan was able to break through and get a hand on him, and then Dante Jones, number 50, cleaned it up. But Bryan disrupted the play by getting across the line of scrimmage. This will be a 3rd and 3 for the Canes, with Brian Blades checking in and Michael Irvin. He came out, so Blades has replaced Irvin, and they've been going a lot with Perriman. Timeout is called by Vinny Testeverde. He took a look across the defensive line. He saw a strange defense and called a timeout.
You might be able to make it on your old antifreeze another year, but then again, you just might find yourself left out in the cold. Driving just 10,000 miles on weak, neglected antifreeze can cause freeze-up and make a radiator look this bad, while the Prestone radiator looks this good. So, for maximum protection, don't push your luck. Change it once a year, every year, with fresh Prestone.
America rides Monroe. America rides Monroe. On the road, the way to go. America rides Monroe.
More people ride Monroe shocks and struts than any other brand. And right now, get up to $20 in rebates. Get $2 back on each Monroe Matic Plus. and $5 back on each Gas Magnum or Gasmatic. They'll give you the best ride ever, guaranteed.
On the road, the way to go. America rides Monroe.
A lot of breweries use ordinary tap water to make their beer. Not Coors. Pure, natural. Yeah. Coors is the one.
One of the deep threats, Michael Irvin, and I asked him what kind of a quarterback Vinny Testeverde is.
I tell you, Vinny's the kind of quarterback that make a good receiver be a great receiver because, you know, you run a 20-yard pattern and you don't have to worry about making the great catches because he's going to put the ball right between the numbers. And they always say, you know, a great quarterback makes a great receiver. And in this case, I think it's true.
Well, he'd like to put one between the numbers here on this 3rd and 3 if he can. Under a heavy rush. Bosworth had a hand on it, and it was pulled free. Brian Bosworth with a near interception.
Oh, he's mad at himself.
That time era, they showed a new defensive wrinkle. They put Scott Garl in as a nickelback, and they blitzed him from that package. They've been working on that back in Norman all week.
The thing that Vinny Testeverde is able to do is to scramble. A year ago, they flushed him out of the pocket 2 or 3 times, and each time he scrambled and completed passes. I thought he was going to do it there again, but he almost threw an interception. With the wind at his back, this will be a 56-yard field goal attempt by Mark Seeley. Both teams have come up empty with field goal attempts. 1 versus 2, and era, we are still scoreless. It's a defensive ball game. Now reminded that tomorrow on the NFL Today, that's that controversial instant replay rule at 12:30 Eastern time. We'll take a look at it, then we're going to give you an opportunity to vote on it. How do you feel about instant replay? Should it be thrown out, kept, or should we have some revisions? And Joe Montana in his first interview since undergoing that back surgery, and then following that, the big one was the Bears, Cincinnati, and some of you will see New Orleans, the Giants, the 49ers against Miami, and the rest of our lineup. Here it is, 1st and 10. Holloway pitches, and it is Stafford. Run out of bounds near the 45 by Jimmy Jones, 63. Nice job of defensive response by the Hurricanes coming down the line on the triple option. Holloway executed it, but everybody came off of their blocks, had their assignments, and did a nice job, held it to about 3-yard gain.
A 3-yard gain.
Barry Switzer again using a lot of players here this afternoon. Finally, the Buckeyes get rolling. 2nd and 7. Superb defensive play by Jimmy Jones.
Just a freshman youngster, Jones is. He's 6'4", 241, been clocked in 4'6". Not bad for a 241-pounder.
Out of Okeechobee. 6'4", 241 pounds. 3rd and 6. Oklahoma is only 1 of 4 on 3rd downs. Holloway throws it. They call it incomplete. He did not have possession. They call it incomplete.
He was trying to lateral that ball off, but he was hit just as he was trying to deal the ball off. I think it was Spencer Tillman is a trail man.
That was the hitch and ladder. They worked on that.
Watch this time. You'll watch Holloway deliver the ball, and it's Spencer Tillman coming out of the backfield, I believe, to the left side. Now he's trying to deal it off right there, but he's hit just as he tries to do it. Shepard just didn't quite get it there.
33
Winchester to punt again. Perriman set to return. Off the side of his foot. It'll go out of bounds. And they are going to spot the ball at around the 39-yard line, calling it a 17-yard punt by the Sooners. Number 1 and number 2, and no score. The Orange Bowl with 8:22 to go here in the first half. Oklahoma and Miami are scoreless. Vinny Testeverde bringing the Canes up to the line of scrimmage at the 39-yard line. Highsmith. Valera, there is no question with Darrell Reed bringing him down that the defenses on both sides have dominated this clash here so far.
Let's take an isolated look at Reed. Number 40, the left outside linebacker here, the left end, sits right in there, wards off the near back block, which is Bratton, number 5, steps inside there and takes Highsmith. Nice job. Excellent defensive work. Isn't it interesting, Brent? The two great offensive teams coming in here have been stymied for a quarter and a half.
5 defensive backs for Oklahoma, and they throw to Bratton, and he has the first down across midfield.
The thing that the Sooners are fearful of is playing man-to-man coverage. They're doing a lot of zoning, and of course Miami is taking in front of the linebackers and then beyond the linebackers. It's very difficult to stop that kind of an attack when you get the protection.
Now take a look at this pass protection. Look at on the outside, Patchen, who's been slowed by an injury and was very questionable. The Sooners felt they could attack him today, and that time he was holding off that outside charge. On a first down, Testeverde steps away from the rush. Eludes 2. Drops to Highsmith. Highsmith gets across the 40-yard line with Finch giving chase.
Shades of last year, Brent. Thing I talked about, Vinny Testeverde is a scrambler. He can avoid rushes. Comes back in the pocket. Doesn't see anybody open. He can bench press 300 and some odd pounds. He's 218 pounds. He moves around. He's got good feet. Has a presence to hit Highsmith. And of course you see number 9, which is Finch, come in there.
The ball is being spotted as you watch Testeverde's quick feet on the move. That probably is what separates him from Bernie Kosar down here at Miami. He's a little bit quicker than Bernie was. First and 10. Vinny on a deep drop sets the screen. It is Bratton. And he steps out of bounds on the far side with Milazzo, number 42, pressing him defensively.
Sooners did a good job, Brent, that time of reading the screen, having enough people on the short side of the field, and covered it well.
Overhead view from the Goodyear blimp. Second down and 9.
Both teams are slowing down a little bit as a result of the heat.
Testeverde again eludes a tackler. Scrambling back and still trying to make a gain. What a remarkable winning performance by the Hurricane quarterback. Number 14, Vinny Testeverde, an error that shows his strength in that upper body. What a move he put on.
Another demonstration of it right there, how strong he is. 6'5", 218, doesn't look very stout, but he is a physically strong guy.
Well, here he is after eluding 2 would-be tacklers on the far side, both of whom had a hand on him. I think about 3 players bent over exhausted trying to give chase on the far side. And Testeverde used a timeout. We'll come back. The Hurricanes on the move. They have another first down. Oklahoma was getting that much in a single play against UCLA and Minnesota. Miami with 38 in passing, and the Sooners may have to come up with some passing before this one's over. No score and 6:35 to go in that first half. 1st and 10 for Testeverde, who just put on a fine running exhibition. The ball is inside the Sooner 25-yard line. Testeverde checks off. This is Oliver. Darrell Oliver out of Palatka, Florida. Checked in at fullback in his first carry from scrimmage. Milazzo and Bosworth combining on the tackle. A 2nd and 7. And when Testeverde goes in, he is so dangerous because a back can come out as a receiver in this situation. Oklahoma with a standard defense. Corners back off. Blades out of bounds inside the 10 and close to the 5.
Appears to me that the rush of the Sooners, they're either tired or the protection is super by Miami, but Testeverde had an awful lot of time. A passer like that, receivers like they have, you're going to get somebody open. Watch the protection here. Watch the time that Vinny Testeverde has. He looks off to his left, fakes the ball, pumps it, then turns to the right. Plenty of time. Then he delivers right on target to a comeback. Blades. Nice job. Down to about the 7-8 yard line.
With a 1st and goal, it's Bratton and Highsmith in the backfield. They throw on 1st down. There it is, the first score of the game. Puts the Hurricanes ahead.
The first touchdown that's been scored against the Sooners in 1986.
Mark Selig's kick is good.
Take another look from the press box view. Look at the time that he gets. Look at the good protection. He delivers right on the mark to Alfredo Roberts. First touchdown of 1986.
So one of the positions that was questionable for Miami. Willie Smith gone. But stepping in, Charles Henry and Alfredo Roberts. And it is Roberts who on 1st down burns the Sooners. Number 2 draws opening blood here in the Orange Bowl. Miami 7, Oklahoma nothing. We'll be right back. We're back, and Roberts celebrating down there at the bench, Era.
You watch right here, Roberts right there comes down and breaks to the outside. Watch the time Testeverde has to throw the ball. Watch Roberts, releases off the line. No one delays him. Testeverde has all kinds of time. Roberts is not supposed to be a great receiver, but what a great catch he makes there.
Selig with the ball teed up. And the Hurricanes leading by 7. It took them 8 plays to go 60 yards. And the most impressive play was when Testeverde scrambled for that 1st down. Stafford deep in the end zone will down it there. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. So tomorrow on the NFL, the Bears and the Bengals, the main attraction. The Saints will play the Giants. The Giants with a new field goal kicker, Raul Allegre. The San Francisco 49ers are right here against Miami. The Rams go into Philadelphia. Green Bay plays Minnesota. Detroit, Cleveland. And that starts our coverage at 12:30 with the NFL Today. Now the critical thing. The wishbone must come from behind, and it is not a come from behind attack. It's Tillman. Winston Moss, 99, led the assault.
Brent, the last 3 possessions of the Sooners, 3 plays and out.
Now, Era, this is a superb defensive job being done by Jimmy Johnson's team. What are some of the keys here against Holloway? How are they jamming them up so successfully?
Well, they're getting a lot of penetration by offsetting the 2 tackles, and also they've got hitters in there in the secondary. They've committed themselves to the run, not worried about the pass, and for obvious reasons.
Holloway keeps it, tries to find an alley, and there are a couple of hitters right there. Myra, the first person to get a hand on him, running over from that middle linebacking spot. His father was a quarterback here at Miami, later played with the San Francisco 49ers, among teams in the National Football League, and his son, now the middle linebacker, takes the defensive call from the sideline and passes it on.
He had a great game against Oklahoma last year with 18 tackles.
3rd and 4. And they jam the fullback. Carr was not going as Derwin Jones and Rod Carter, 86 and 91, stop him right there. Winchester set to punt for the Sooners. Fair catch called for at the 44 by Perriman. 31-yard punt.
I'm sure
3:47 left in the first half.
You watch at top of the screen, Bubba McDowell, number 48. You see him out the outside, has blocked 4 kicks in the last 3 regular season games. Here he is, but he's blocked out just at the last moment. Look at him launch himself. Whoa.
First and 10. Fumble. Ball was put on the ground. There's a fumble on the exchange, and the Sooners get the turnover and a chance to move in.
Very unusual for a guy like Rakosi and Testeverde, who have worked so long together. It looked like Vinny might have pulled out.
It's exactly what he did, Era.
Now, it could have been the center snapping it late, but it appears that Vinny is pulling out on it because he's called the snap count. He should know what it is. He's the quarterback.
Well, that nose guard, Curtis Williams, 93, he was very alertly in on it. Smothering that ball. Sooners have it. First and 10 at the Miami 42-yard line. 3:38 first half. Spencer Tillman. Down near the 30, which would give Oklahoma a first down as Bubba McDowell brings him down.
Spencer Tillman had the rushing record as a freshman. Here, oh, he gets beautiful blocking right at the point of attack by the whole right side. Blades misses a tackle number 36, and he comes upfield for a first down, or close to it. They're going to measure.
That was Anthony Phillips and Greg Johnson who were opening up that hole on the right side for the Sooners. And that time, Era, Barry Switzer gave them a bit of a different look. He took one of his halfbacks and put him out in the slot as another potential receiver. Now, that's a formation they worked on in Norman, and they were able to throw at it in practice. They would hit that halfback outside.
Well, they force the, there's Vinny Testeverde. They forced the Miami defense into a different coverage when they open their formations, and the Miami Hurricanes don't quite get quick support at the off-tackle spot.
Don Ellis shaken up. He is the cover man who has been assigned to Shepard. So that would cause him to bring Tolbert Bain in from the sideline. I'm referring to Miami coach Jimmy Johnson. This could be a big loss for the Hurricanes if he can't return. Don Ellis is his best man-on-man cover back, and he is being helped off because of a leg injury.
Now, Ellis ought to know how to cover wide receivers. He was one himself, and they moved him over to defense because he's the best man-on-man coverage person on the Hurricane team.
We'll have all the scores coming up at halftime on the Prudential College Football Report. 1st and 10. The ball is at the 31-yard line. Holloway turned the other way, and Jerome Brown stuffed him right there. I think Holloway was attempting to check the play off at the line of scrimmage, and they did not pick up the change. He turned to the left, and the running backs moved through to the right. Era, take a look at this.
No question there was a communication problem. You don't know whether it was Holloway or the two backs. Both backs are going right. They may have not heard the audible by Holloway at the line of scrimmage. In any event, there's Jerome Brown, number 98. What a load he is.
2nd and 13 for Holloway. And he hits the tight end, Keith Jackson, who busts inside that 20-yard line, which would give them another first down with Rod Carter in pursuit.
The toughest play, the toughest pass in the wishbone is the one that was just thrown. Fake to the fullback, everybody comes up to support. The tight end releases off the line, and he's wide open right there. Keith Jackson, Blades 36, comes back to the inside, and 91 brings him down, who is Rod Carter.
2:20 to go, first half. First down, Sooners. And the half coming through is Tillman. Barry Switzer watching intently from that Sooners sideline. He's not accustomed to being behind, certainly not this year.
Boy, he's done a great job out at Oklahoma.
Former coaching colleague who played for Switzer at Arkansas when Barry was an assistant. 1:49 first half. Holloway breaks a tackle, pitches to Collins outside, and he will not get the job done. Selwyn Brown, 32, with a splendid tackle.
Oh, what a job Selwyn Brown did on that. Shed his blocker, fought it off, came right up, kept that ball carrier right in front of him. That was a marvelous defensive job. And he was out for 2 weeks. It looks like he's hurt his leg again. Watch here, to the left of your screen. There's the pitch by Holloway. And now watch Selwyn Brown fight that blocker off. Of course, you saw the tail end of that, and make the tackle himself one-on-one.
1:25 left here in the first half. Spencer Tillman going off on the far side for the Sooners. He was shaken up. And now wholesale changes in that defensive secondary as far as the Hurricanes are concerned. Kevin McCutcheon has replaced Brown. 3rd and 11. Holloway. Tough to get the little man. He goes back to the end zone. Sooner touchdown.
Oh, flag down. I think there were illegal receivers downfield.
And Holloway goes down to his knees at the 15 and jumps back up as he realizes it will not count. Collins caught the ball for Barry Switzer Sooners, but the penalty will be against Oklahoma.
There's an end zone shot. You see Holloway coming right back into the pocket here. Who said he couldn't pocket pass? Can't see well, but he sure can run well, can he? He scrambles out to the right. You can see up here that he had the receiver wide open. He finally turns and finds him, but the illegal receivers were downfield. Now he turns and finds him right there. Great job of scrambling and vision, but all for naught. Been a change in the rule, too, on an illegal receiver downfield. It's no longer loss of down. so it's still third down.
The ball is spotted at the 26. We're inside of a minute here in the first half. Miami leads Oklahoma 7-0. This will be a 3rd and 16 to go for the Sooners. As number 1 against number 2 continues to unfold here in the Orange Bowl. Timeout has been called, and that's the last one by the Sooners. That gives us a chance to take a look at the Miami campus here in South Florida.
Miami, crossroads of the Americas. In this dynamic community is a center of higher education where students share in the excitement of an institution that is dedicated to pushing the leading edge in the pursuit of knowledge. Celebrating its 60th year, the University of Miami retains the pioneering spirit that led it to become one of the largest research institutions in the Southeast, in medicine, in marine science, in virtually every aspect of life. The University of Miami is changing the way we look at the world.
The University of Oklahoma's chemistry faculty are making bold new discoveries, gaining new understanding into the process of blood clotting, the nervous system, oil production, high-energy batteries, and other chemical mysteries. New knowledge for a new age through dynamic research and instruction.
Helping you to a greater degree. Oklahoma has the spirit.
And here in Miami, 57 seconds to go. A 3rd down and 16 yards for Oklahoma. The ball is just the far side of the 25. Holloway sends it back. Short of the first down. That was Leon Perry, the fullback, who got to the 15.
Sending in the field goal team. They're going to try to get to 3 points. Of course, Perry has been pretty tricky in some of these areas. Fake the field goal and go for something, but I think maybe with 27 seconds left, 26, he's going to kick it and get on the board.
It's a 32-yard attempt by Lasher. And Oklahoma is on the board. 17 seconds to go in the first half. Lasher kicks a field goal, reducing Miami's lead to 7-3. The turnover sets this up on the fumble exchange, and Oklahoma had a touchdown called back because Holloway was forced to scramble out of the pocket, and as he did, one of his linemen moved illegally downfield. Collins got himself open on the far side of the end zone. Holloway hit him, but it was called back. And the Sooners settled for a field goal.
38, West Virginia 16.
17 seconds left for Miami, with Thompson teeing the ball up at the 35-yard line.
Princeton 0. And the final, Penn State.
Miami with a couple of timeouts remaining.
East Carolina 17. Number 91, Tom Thompson will kick. 21, J.C. Penny.
J.C. Penny retreats to the goal line. He's there in the middle. Now Thompson wants to move the ball over a little bit, so I'll remind you that we're going to go back to New York and hear from Jim Nance. He'll have all the scores and highlights here at halftime. J.C. Penny. Bounces out of bounds, which is a penalty. Well, they're low scoring, 7-3. Early in the week, the Sooners came out a 2-point favorite. It quickly jumped to about 5 or 6. What are your feelings here about the first half and the way Miami has played?
Well, I felt coming into the ball game that the defenses might command the outcome of this game, but I didn't think that both teams would be able to play as well as they have defensively. I thought one or the other with these explosive offenses would do something that would put points on the board, because that's all they have done. Make a lot of big plays, both teams. But this has been a marvelous football game and great athletes on both sides.
Thompson straightened up his tee. 5 yards have been marched off back to the 30-yard line. Keeping it high and away from the hands of the return men. The fair catch call for at the 32-yard line. And there will be 17 seconds left. So, a big weekend of football here on CBS. The instant replay rule, which has caused such a controversy, we'll look at that at 12:30 Eastern Time and give you a chance to vote. You want to keep it, junk it, or change it? We'll have some numbers for you to dial, and you can register your vote. That's starting at 12:30 Eastern Time tomorrow on CBS. Joe Montana will be along. We'll find out how he's coming. Sure hope he's able to play again after that back operation. Here it is. 17 seconds for Testeverde. Miami leads Oklahoma. And Vinny will go down with the clock ticking away.
Curtis Williams, number 90.
Jimmy Johnson content to go into the locker room, leading 7-3. It was a scoreless first quarter here in the Orange Bowl, as number 1 and number 2 dueled defensively. Then, taking advantage of excellent field position, Vinny Testeverde drove the Canes to their only touchdown. A pass to his tight end on first down. Miami led it 7-0. Oklahoma then recovered a fumble, moved down and kicked the field goal. And the Canes go in leading 7-3. Jim Nance is next.
This fabulous official NFL travel bag, complete with your team's emblem and colors, can be yours free. It's yours when you buy 10 rolls or more of energy-saving Owens Corning insulation.
I'm Teddy Ruxpin.
Well, guys, what do you think? I think he's great.
AT&T is in business video, the fast, easy way to get together.
Claire, as you take a look at this next chart,
When you can't be together, from your offices or selected hotels to locations worldwide.
Mais certainement. Just...
All right, everybody. Are we all set in Chicago? Okay, let's start our meeting. Now, about...
Just call AT&T and ask for business video. AT&T, the right choice.
CBS Sports College Football will be back after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.
Blue's better. What would life be without you? Blue is better. Blue is the ocean and blue is the sky. Ooh, there's nothing quite like those baby blue eyes so blue. What would life be without you? Blue is better. What would life be without you? Oh. What would life be without you?
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Michigan.
Blue is better.
The enemy. Rain. A mere 1/8 inch can float your car off the road. Thus the rationale for Vector, Goodyear's unique all-season radio. So advanced, its crisscross tread actually pumps away water to help more tire and your car stay on the road. The Goodyear Vector. It simply performs like no other tire in the world.
Everyone sees it a little differently. To the doctor, it's a medical problem. To the police, it's a crime problem. For the counselor, it's a social problem. And for the addict, it's a personal problem. Eyewitness News' T.W. Chang uncovers the many sides of a problem that won't go away. Crack. You'll meet people who live with it every day and learn their frustrations. Crack. Join T.W. Chang starting Monday on Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock.
She may be in contempt for withholding evidence Monday at 7:30.
CBS Sports presents the Prudential College Football Report. Sponsored by The Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, the Rock. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
Jim Nance in New York, the Prudential College Football Report. Let me show you a remarkable play in the first half by Vinny Testeverde, the quarterback, the Heisman hopeful of the Miami Hurricanes. He doesn't go down easy. In fact, he breaks several tackles here, and Testeverde turns a 10-yard loss at least into a 10-yard gain. Significant thing here, it kept the drive alive, and the Canes went on and scored the lone touchdown of this game after that scramble, and they lead at 7-3 here at the intermission. All right, let's move on to the top 10, where Alabama has 4 straight wins, but today the tide is idle. Number 4, Nebraska, leading over Oregon in the fourth quarter. A big day for Steve Taylor, the quarterback here. Looks like he's going to go into the end zone, but he forgets the football. But right there is Keith Jones to pick it up, and the Huskers lead it by 41 in the fourth quarter. Michigan took advantage of 4 Florida State turnovers to beat the Seminoles 20-18. This was the touchdown that iced it. Thomas Wilshire going in from the 7, and the Wolverines and Bo Schembechler now have 3 close wins.
We haven't lost yet. So as long as we haven't lost, we'll probably stay in the top 10, drop gradually, and maybe we can make a rush at the end. How's that?
For Schembechler, that's victory number 199 on his career. Tonight, a key Pac-10 game at the Coliseum, Washington and USC. This afternoon, Penn State ran their record to 3-0. And East Carolina suffered their 13th straight loss. Auburn leading in the third quarter over Tennessee, 10-0. Tonight, number 9, Arkansas will go against New Mexico State. And number 10, Arizona, had to struggle today, but they beat Colorado in the final 5 minutes. Here they are trailing. The Wildcats quarterback Jenkins goes to Jeff Fairholm, who outraces the Buffalo defender. 67 yards he goes in the final 5 minutes. And Arizona now 3-0 with that victory over Colorado. Now, in the East, West Virginia and Pittsburgh, John Kangemi, 3 touchdown passes. He ran for another. Panthers' 2nd straight win. Rutgers handed Syracuse their 4th loss in 4 outings. The Orangemen may want to borrow a page from the Ewings and that Dallas script and just write this whole season off as a bad dream. Now, elsewhere, Army's home winning streak came to a close. They had won 13 in a row at home before today. Navy got 4 touchdowns from Chuck Smith as they shut out Lehigh. Princeton and Northwestern. Northwestern notches their 2nd straight victory. Bucknell lost to Penn by a field goal. And Cornell and Colgate. Cornell a winner there. Colgate coach Fred Dunlap this week underwent a double bypass operation. Offensive coordinator Mike Foley took over as coach today, but Colgate on the short end of the score against Cornell. Still ahead of us here at halftime, the special story of Mark Bonicatti and the battle against paralysis. And, of course, more scores and highlights as the Prudential College Football Report continues here on CBS with more results from the East.
It's a jungle. That's how it feels when you're searching for life insurance. The natives don't speak your language. You feel lost, in the dark, scared. But there is a sign of civilization. With Prudential, your agent will explain things clearly and work with you until you have a piece of the rock you feel comfortable with. No wonder more people choose Prudential for life insurance than any other company. You'll feel right by the rock. Prudential Life Insurance.
An investment firm is only as impressive as it is responsive.
Good to go.
So when interest rates fell, we looked for new ways for our clients to make money and developed unique opportunities like the Prudential Real Estate Investment Trust, a first of its kind in a way to take advantage of changing markets. While others may imitate it, we're busy surpassing it. If anyone can show you bold new thinking in the business of making money, let's close it. It's Prudential Beach, rock solid, market-wise.
Jim Nance in New York. A week ago, Clemson marched into Georgia and beat the Bulldogs. Today, they topped Georgia Tech. In fact, the Yellow Jacks had a very quiet 8-game unbeaten string stopped today. Also, Mississippi over Tulane. At halftime, Archie Manning's number 18 was retired, and the Rebels win it today over Tulane. Moving now to the Midwest, looks like Notre Dame will pick up their first win. They lead at halftime over Purdue by 24. Iowa big over UTEP. That is now a final just in. Next week, the Hawkeyes will go against Michigan State in the Big Ten opener. Some of you will see that here on CBS Sports. Speaking of the Spartans, they also won handily today. Lorenzo White, 26 carries, 192 yards, and 3 touchdowns for that Heisman candidate. Ohio State bounced back big with their biggest performance of the year, 64-6 over Utah. Fullback George Cooper had 4 touchdowns in that game. Indiana will stay unbeaten, it looks like. They're beating Missouri in the fourth quarter by 17. And Wyoming, for the first time ever, beats a team from the Big Ten. They were an 0-7 before today, and now the Cowboys run their record to 3-1 on the year. Kentucky silenced Cincinnati today. The Wildcats now 2-0-1. Kansas perhaps picking up their second straight win, a 2-touchdown lead over Indiana State in the fourth. Iowa State and Wichita State, 29-point lead for the Cyclones in that ball game. Miami of Ohio last week sprung the surprise on LSU down in Baton Rouge. Today they win at home against Bowling Green. In the Southwest, Baylor's Grant Tapp became the all-time winningest coach for the Bears, passing Morley Jennings as they won in that Southwest Conference showdown. TCU and SMU, that is now much closer than it was before. 2 straight touchdowns for TCU to make it 24-21. Doak Walker's jersey number 37 retired at halftime for SMU. You got to wonder why it took so long. I mean, he won the Heisman 38 years ago, and today they finally retire his jersey there for the Mustangs. BYU, another final just in, a 10-point winner over Temple. The Cougars were trailing 17-14, but here's Steve Lindsley, the quarterback, out of the pocket. He scrambles, and he finds Mark Bellini, who jumps up, gets the 15-yard touchdown, and BYU wins it 27-17. Now also out on the WAC, Air Force comes back after the loss a week ago to Wyoming, and they beat Colorado State today. In the Pac-10, Stanford looking to go 3-0 for the first time since 1972. They have a 3-point lead in the second quarter. California 1 point up on San Jose State in the second, and in baseball, Boston reduced their magic number to just 1 as they shut out Toronto today 2-0. And when we come back, we'll have a special profile in Courage, the dramatic and touching story of Mark Bonacotti. You're watching the Prudential College Football Report here on CBS, where the scores continue from around the country.
Daddy, your ship has come in!
Sure. Find the holes in your homeowner's insurance before they find you.
Sorry to barge in.
Have a Prudential representative give you a fast, free Pru review of your coverage.
Are we covered? For this?
If you had a Pro review, you'd know.
Get a Pru review from the Prudential and get a piece of the rock.
Don't look like Bermuda to me.
Powerful new financial help is coming. The Rock, the Prudential, is now more than insurance. It's mutual funds, home mortgages, IRAs, stocks and bonds, new products and new ideas. It's rock-solid financial help for us all. The Rock, the Prudential. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
It has been said that the true measure of a man's character is revealed only under adversity. What you are about to see is the remarkable story of a young athlete faced with the ultimate adversity. He is Mark Bonacotti, the son of former NFL All-Pro Nick Bonacotti. A year ago at this time, he was playing for the Citadel, following in his father's footsteps at middle linebacker. Then, all of a sudden, he saw his life flash before his eyes.
When you ever see him in movies, you think, well, they break your neck, you know you're going to die. I thought of dying. I thought I was going to die, maybe.
He was so full of life, so vital, even aggressive. The play, it seemed routine, but he never got up.
I rolled over, and I noticed my arm was just lying there. Actually, I saw it fall. And if it wasn't connected to my shoulder, I wouldn't have known it was my arm.
It was very difficult for me to walk into that room and look at my son in the condition that he was in and not feel that that a great part of his life was drained from him.
I saw what he looked like, you know, in that position with his head shaved and things coming out of his head to keep his neck stable, and tubes actually down through his nose and in his throat, and it was just unbelievable. You know, I just practically went hysterical at that point, and that's when, you know, the extent of his injury definitely sunk in.
Mark is the product of a close-knit family where football was important in their lives. Both on the field and off, father and son play to win.
The Bonacanis found the driven attitude and the neuroscientific knowledge they were pursuing right here in their own hometown. It's called the Miami Project, and its goal is to find a cure for paralysis.
Mark's injury mobilized the Miami Project to recruit world-class scientists and innovative technology. It's a costly undertaking, but one to which Miamians and others have responded.
I don't want to be said that the reason that someone is in a wheelchair, namely my son Mark, is because there wasn't enough money to fund the research that is needed to find a cure for paralysis.
I am 100% confident that we're going to be able to cure paralysis. I can't tell you when or where, but I can tell you the Miami Project will be an important part of it. There are scientists who have made major breakthroughs in this country and elsewhere to show that this is indeed a feasible goal.
We can, in animal experiments, show that we can actually repair severe damages to both brain and spinal cord.
Among the therapies Mark is undergoing, this electronic stimulation, which is retraining his muscles. But modern technology offers more than minor miracles. It holds the major promise of hope.
It's a great feeling, you know?
I believe that Mark is coping with his environment, and I've never accepted it. We're never going to accept it.
When you accept your injury, you lose hope. When you lose hope, your dreams die. And everything else dies with it and along with it.
Hope, faith, and hard work have allowed Mark Bonacati to dream of one day walking away from this ordeal.
It's been 11 months since my injury, and finally next week I'll be going home, which means more than anything to me. Going home.
And just moments ago, the huge crowd at the Orange Bowl paid tribute to the special grace and courage of Mark Bonacati. And best of all, he'll be going home in just a few days. What could be a greater gift for Mark and his family as they get set to celebrate his 20th birthday on Monday? And all of us here at CBS wish him the very best. The second half is next. This is the Prudential College Football Report on CBS.
The Prudential College Football Report has been sponsored by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, the Rock. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
Here at the half, Miami leading Oklahoma 7-3. Number 2 over number 1, and some of the numbers that you might find revealing. Total yards in the first quarter, the two teams dueled on fairly even ground. Both defenses turned in excellent plays. Take a look at that second quarter. In the time of possession, Oklahoma hoped to keep the ball and dominate the clock here this afternoon, but they have not been able to. Now, the average yards today for Oklahoma are only 3 yards per rush, as opposed to the 6.4 that they recorded in those routes of UCLA and Minnesota. And the one man who has been stopped so far by the Hurricanes is fullback Lydell Carr. He has carried the ball only 4 times for 4 yards. Miami leads it. Here's Pat O'Brien.
Back inside the Orange Bowl, where number 2 Miami leads number 1 Oklahoma 7-3. And if you're just joining us this afternoon, I'm Pat O'Brien, and welcome back to the Orange Bowl. If you're just joining us, don't let that score fool you. Every one of those points was made the old-fashioned way. They earned them. Now, we're going to get you back to the second half here in just a moment. Play's about to resume, but first, a special message from my colleague, Brent Musburger.
Well, each Saturday on our coverage of NCAA football here on CBS, we select a Chevrolet Player of the Game, and in conjunction with that award, Chevrolet contributes a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of both schools.
pleasure to welcome back an old friend, Tom Stout, who is the General Marketing Director of the Chevrolet Motor Division. Tom, nice to have you with us.
Thanks, Brent. How many times are you going to get to see a confrontation of the #1 and #2 teams? Hard to beat, isn't it?
Oh, it's tremendous. Tom, why a Most Valuable Player award from Chevrolet in a game like this?
Well, Brent, to us, it symbolizes more than anything else the very best values in college football. The need to use your talent to the fullest. Commitment, dedication, hard work, teamwork, the will to win. Things that can stand you in good stead all of your life. And you know, Brent, over these 16 seasons and 2,500 awards, we've really seen some spectacular performances, haven't we?
Well, we sure have.
By some of the really great players. And standing right beside us today is one of the very best, and I might add most exciting, Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins.
Dan, nice to have you with us this afternoon.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. And I know it was an honor for me to win the award while I was in college. And I think the most important thing, and everybody has to realize, that the scholarship donation helps other students in the university and necessarily wouldn't get that help. And you feel that you personally contribute to the school when you do that.
Dan, I want to wish you a lot of luck tomorrow against the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, thank you, Brent. We're looking forward to it, and hope we win the game.
All right. And Tom, certainly a lot of thanks to you for all the help you've done all the students, too.
Well, thanks to you, Brent, and thank you, Dan.
All right. We'll continue with our coverage of Oklahoma-Miami in just a moment.
Night training. It never stops for Mr. Goodwrench. Cars change, he changes. He picks from over 100 General Motors service schools to stay on the leading edge of service technology. He keeps up with fuel injection, turbocharger changes, new electronics, transaxle advances, you name it. He's trained to be good. He's trained to stay good. Mr. Goodwrench, no one knows your GM car better. No one.
They say it takes a big computer company to build a big computer.
Sure. Who else?
But Goodyear said, want to bet? And built a supercomputer for NASA.
Goodyear did? Yeah, the aerospace group.
Goodyear's computer can add or subtract 6.5 billion times a second. It's one of the world's fastest computers. See what you can do when you don't listen to what they say. Goodyear.
The pure, natural beauty of glass comes only from the purest sand, one of the few inexhaustible natural resources. And glass can be recycled again and again to bring you more and more of the good things that come in glass, just as their maker intended. Brought to you by the people who make glass containers, naturally.
At the half, Miami leading Oklahoma 7-3. And, you know, Coach, I'll tell you, it seemed like just a matter of time. Oklahoma made some mistakes there, especially early on in the second quarter.
Yes, they really did. And from our vantage point, you could see it was just going to be a matter of time before the Hurricanes were going to get on the board.
Now, this is the punt where there was the inadvertent whistle. Miami would have been in striking position right there. Instead, because the whistle blew, they didn't get the fumble. They repunted. They held Oklahoma, and shortly after that, they were able to punch it in for their first touchdown. But remember now that Oklahoma missed an open receiver going in, and late in the second period, they had one called back. Now, what about the second half, Era?
Well, for Oklahoma, I think they have to open up their formations to reduce the defenses. I think the Hurricanes have just done a remarkable job defensively. For the Hurricanes, I wouldn't change anything. I think they played an outstanding first half, and all I would say is more of the same.
And we'll be coming back with more of the same right after these messages from your local stations.
This is CBS.
The day when a company couldn't afford to integrate voice and data because it took an all-or-nothing digital PBX is over. Today, there's Digital Centrex, an end-to-end digital system you design and control to transmit voice, data, and image with more reliability and pricing flexibility than ever before. Centrex DS. Maybe the most useful business tool since...
Celebrate CBS News Sunday morning. Sundays at 9:30 on Channel 2.
Hot off the presses, the Ted Knight Show on Channel 2.
CBS Sports presents college football, sponsored by the Heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet, and by Michelob Light, super premium taste and less filling beer. Mark Seelig set to kick it off, and here we go, sitting on 7-3, and number 2 trying to knock number 1 off its perch. Oklahoma, of course, was declared national champion on New Year's night here in the Orange Bowl when they defeated Penn State. Now they have struggled somewhat here in the first half, unable to score a touchdown after destroying UCLA and then Minnesota. Barry Switzer, no doubt, had a few words to say about that at the intermission. Stafford and Collins are deep. Stafford downs it. Oh, he comes out, he makes a mistake. He's at the 2, back toward the end zone. Battles his way out, and there's a penalty marker thrown on the far sideline as Stafford was down near the 8-yard line. There, a big mistake. He hesitated over on the far side, then came out late.
Personal foul against the Hurricanes will take care of Stafford's mistake, I guess. It'll be a 15-yarder, but that was a terrible judgment on his part. Maybe he figured he was in a sprint race. He's won the 100, the 200, and the 400 in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri.
That wasn't the 100 or the 200. That was running for your life.
Well, this has been a great defensive football game.
I mean, Barry Switzer's got to be furious about that. What a way to start the second half. You see the quarterback matchup. One a thrower, the other a runner. From the wishbone, here come the Sooners. Pure bone, let's see if they can keep it on the ground and grind it out. They come up with a halfback, Patrick Collins, behind the fullback lead block. Danny Stubbs, 96, led the defensive charge against Switzer's Sooners.
Good support by that defensive secondary. Everybody is reacting to the ball well for the Hurricanes. Even if they get a little seam to the inside, you get everybody in there doing a good job.
Right guard Anthony Phillips is replaced by Gary Bennett for Oklahoma. They go to an unbalanced line. There was a penalty marker down. The right side of that line moved for Oklahoma as Carr, the fullback, came up inside. Now, Barry Switzer's fullback was handled in the first half. He was held to only 4 yards. That's the second time that the Sooners' offensive line has jumped offside in this game.
Now you're looking at 2 strong players in there, Brown and Jones. I mean, they're outstanding players for the Hurricanes.
I'll tell you, the last time someone scored on them rushing, I remember it. It was against Maryland.
We did that
game. Last time Miami gave up a touchdown in regular season. All right, here's second down and 11 now. Carr is again stood up at the 25-yard line. Rod Carter, number 91, is in there. They have taken the fullback right out of this wishbone attack.
They really have. They have to break their bone, either with one of the halfbacks, reduce the defense. You can see the swarming Phil linebackers. Look at the number of Hurricanes in on that. By reducing the defense here now, they'll force them more into a balanced look.
3rd and 9. They had busted one of the halfbacks. Holloway slips down inside the 15-yard line. Danny Stubbs was able to trip him up.
Stubbs is having a great game.
He's a tremendous talent who has not received a lot of attention because of Jerome Brown.
You notice how they contained him that time? They weren't going to let him out. They forced him back to the inside, squeezed down tight. He tried to escape from it, but tripped as he went backwards.
Winchester standing near his own goal line to punt for the Sooners. Perriman back deep for Jimmy Johnson and the Hurricanes. Fair catch signal at the 48-yard line of the Sooners, and Vinny Testeverde will bring that offense onto the attack after a 33-yard punt. Testeverde, a leading candidate for the Heisman, so too is Lorenzo White. He only played to the third quarter as that game was a rout. 192 yards. Big afternoon. He jumps up. I think there's no doubt about it. Testeverde, Bosworth, and White are the three leading candidates. Wouldn't you agree with that? I think everybody would.
I think that's very true.
1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. Highsmith battling his way to the 45-yard line. We've been talking about Testeverde and Bosworth and Brown. You take a good look at number 30, because Alonzo Highsmith is someday going to be in the backfield in the National Football League.
He had nothing that time and managed to get a yard or two out of it and could have been negative yardage. He is strong.
Good blocker. He can also catch an occasional pass. Good attitude. Coaches like the way he works. 2nd and 8. The young quarterback from Long Island checks the defense. Down the middle to Bratton. Bratton gets inside the 20-yard line. The offensive line is holding off the rush. They're able to release running backs now into the pass patterns.
He was wide open, right over the middle. We'll take another look at this. You see Testeverde comes back. The rush does not get to him. There's the throw, wide open. Right there is Bratton, right in the seam. And number 29, Dixon, comes in, makes the play, but not after a large 28-yard gain.
The men doing the job right now are O'Neill, Alekna, Rakosi, O'Connor, and Patchen. That offensive line for Jimmy Johnson. They are down to the Sooners 18. It's Bratton. Struggling to get close to the 15-yard line with Bosworth and Jones. You know, Bosworth has been quiet since a tremendous start here this afternoon in the Orange Bowl. We haven't had his number called very often.
Still, Miami has had difficulty in establishing a consistent ground game. Their strong suit, without question, is their passing. And it seems to me, Brent, that the Oklahoma Sooners are having difficulty rushing the passer for one reason or another. Either the protection or the fact that they may be a little tired.
Well, it's 2nd down and 8. The wind has picked up a little bit here in the Orange Bowl. That cools things down. It won't be as humid as the first half. They'll run Bratton wide to the right. He slips inside. Battling his way inside the 10-yard line against Finch.
Finally stopped it. Here's a good job of stretching the defense in the sense they did not adjust to it. Look at the leverage that Bratton has. 77, O'Connor makes the block to the outside. Bratton turns it inside, breaks it back to the corner. And a nice job there by number 9, Finch, of avoiding his block and making the tackle.
And if Irvin had driven on into Finch with his block, he might have scored on that play. Here is a 1st and goal at the 8. Testeverde barking that signal out. He had trouble in the Sugar Bowl. Straight quick drop. Out here to the tight end. Touchdown Miami. Charles Henry. To attempt the extra point. Perfect. The lead grows in the Orange Bowl.
Here's a look at the touchdown. Watch Henry, the end man on the line, just break to the outside. Number 8 blitzes, and Testeverde picks it up immediately and delivers the ball to the outside. Number 14, Derek White, cannot stay up with him, and he pulls his way into the end zone for the second score.
Bosworth can't believe it.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat of America.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat of America. Oh yeah.
It's the rhythm on the road. It's the pulse on the street.
Pulse on the street.
City and town, a magic sound. Feel the heartbeat of America.
Chevrolet.
That's today, Chevrolet.
Ooh, the heartbeat of America. Chevrolet.
Chevrolet.
Tonight, looking for something new?
You're my camera?
Last time I looked in the mirror, I was. Then you found it. Tonight on CBS, the new Mike Hammer.
Era, they tried a safety blitz on him that time.
Yes, Sonny Brown right here. Blitzes. Alonzo Highsmith makes the play. Henry goes to the outside. Irvin drives off the defender. Testeverde picks up that blitz, delivers the ball right there to Henry. White comes over to try to make the play. But watch as Henry just drives into the end zone, bulls his way for the score.
They used two different pass patterns with tight ends for their touchdowns. Earlier, remember, they had broken Roberts down into the middle in the end zone. This time, with the great block by Highsmith against the blitzing safety, he swings his tight end back out here to the corner. And Henry joins Roberts in having scored touchdowns. 10:35 to go in quarter three, and the Sooners are under fire now, and he comes out again. Stafford smacked down on the 14. The ball is loose. Miami. Stafford coming out from a yard inside. And the kicking game is becoming a key factor in this game as Eric Ham, able to get around behind, knocked the ball loose for the Hurricanes on that special team, and J.C. Penney able to recover for the Canes. Now here is Ham, 41, as I told you, coming in, stripping the ball out. Now J.C. Penney alertly pounces on the loose ball and gives Testeverde another scoring opportunity here at the 15. Miami 14, Oklahoma 3. Barry Switzer's team under fire. The Sooners have lost a fumble for the third time this season, and we'll be right back.
Who says you can't have old world taste and a new world waste? Old world aging and the new world's youthful spirit. Europe's finest hops in America's finest light beer. Michelob Light, old world quality from Anheuser-Busch. Michelob Light, the best of both worlds.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can have it all.
2 out of 3 Indy drivers rely on STP oil treatment, because when it comes down to it, STP adds extra lubrication to reduce engine wear in whatever you drive.
STP is the racer's edge.
Next time you go away for the weekend, turn your weekend into a national holiday. National Car Rental now offers you special weekend rates as low as $19.95 a day. So if you're going to take off, turn your weekend into a national holiday.
For every man who wears Brute deodorant, there's a woman who'll be glad he did. Because a man who wears Brute deodorant is nice to be close to, and nobody knows that better than a woman. Only Brute deodorant gives you long-lasting protection with the great smell of Brute.
Hello.
Brute deodorant, cologne, and everything else. Brute. It smells like a man.
Great.
For the last week down in Oklahoma, Brian Bosworth has huffed and puffed about what the Sooners would do to the Hurricanes of Miami. But so far, Bosworth and his friends cannot blow the house down. Instead, it is Vinny Testeverde, who is on the brink of moving the Hurricanes into a commanding 21-3 lead over Barry Switzer. After that fumble on the kickoff, it'll be a first down on the 15 against Bosworth. He'll run Bratton. And Bratton hammers a helmet as he battles for another yard. It was Derek White he met head on.
Oh. Was that some contact there, Brent? Right here you see Bratton. Watch White, number 14, come up. Bratton lowers his head, knocks him backwards, and really puts a hit on him.
Second and 6 at the Oklahoma 16. Make that 11-yard line.
Second and 6. The ball between the 10 and the 11. Checks it off at the line. Drops it to Bratton. Close to the 5-yard line. Derek White along with Paul Migliazzo and Brian Bosworth.
Notice how Testeverde avoids that rush. He's got good feet. He continues to look upfield, senses the rush coming at him, moves away from it, calmly delivers the ball to outlet people.
And that will give the Canes a first and goal. On the afternoon, Testeverde is 14 of 18 for 143 yards, and he has thrown 2 touchdown passes. Both times he has hit tight ends. Alfredo Roberts with the first one and Charles Henry with the second.
Do you realize that Bratton had shoulder surgery this spring? he sure got a good recovery the way he's hitting.
Testeverde is going to come over. A timeout has been called here in the Orange Bowl. He wants to confer with the coaching staff. And so the Sooner defense will regroup. It is so difficult in a highly charged, emotional game like this when you get behind and you're on the road. The fans have stayed in the game almost from the beginning. The Sooners have not been able to quiet them down here in the Orange Bowl. Holloway has had difficulty having his signals heard. The Sooners with a wishbone. Hard to play catch-up.
That's the key right there. The fact that Oklahoma could not afford to fall behind in the ball game like this, because Miami can strike quickly. They've got a great balanced attack. They can hit the big play. And the Sooners got to grind it out. And, of course, this is a sensational defensive football team the Hurricanes have. And they're going to be hard-pressed if they don't hold them. This score gets up to 21-3. The Sooners will have really an uphill battle.
Coach Johnson has inserted both his tight ends in this alignment. But he has also split one of them out occasionally down here going in. As he did on Henry's touchdown, Alfredo Roberts was split out into almost a slot formation. So instead of showing the double tight, he lines them up differently. Now this time he brings up the double tight with Bratton in behind Highsmith, and Irvin is on a right wing. A roll by Testeverde. To Irvin. Touchdown, Miami. The Hurricanes strike twice. Seelig is perfect again.
Here's an end zone shot of it. Watch the great fake that Testeverde makes and gets outside of the contain. They do not know who has the ball. Now he can run it, and if he wants. Then he decides to throw it to Irwin, who has had 8 straight touchdown catches in 8 straight games, I should say, a year ago. There's another one right there.
And it is 21-3 Miami. 9:51 in the third.
A man can spend years paying off an insurance policy and never reap its benefits.
Well, guess it's time to go.
We're gonna miss you, Grandma.
That's why the Equitable created Incentive Life. It lets you invest in a fund that's averaged 14.3% over the past 10 years. So a man will have something to enjoy.
Are you coming, Grandma?
Yes.
While there's still time for him to enjoy it. Incentive Life from the Equitable.
It's one thing to say you fight friction. It's another thing to prove it. Kendall Motor Oil did. First, ordinary piston rings were plated with pure gold. Then, a prestigious independent laboratory ran them under stop-and-go driving conditions for 5,000 miles. The results? Look, Kendall protected the soft gold. A remarkable test only Kendall has taken. Now, doesn't that tell you something? Kendall Motor Oil, for protection worth its weight in gold.
It's a sport of finesse, power, and beauty. America's Polo Championship. Tomorrow on CBS Sports.
Well, Era, there is the wingman, Irvin, who caught the ball. What happened on the Oklahoma coverage here?
They had to break down somewhere, but watch Bratton go in the number 5. Watch him dive in there like he's got the ball. Jumps up, and they think he has it, but by that time, Irvin has got leverage on the defender. Nobody there. Testeverde can either run it in or pass it in, whichever he chooses. He chooses to throw the football.
Dixon giving chase, but he was easily beaten by Irvin. And it has suddenly become a long afternoon in the Orange Bowl for Bosworth, as Miami has scored 2 touchdowns in 44 seconds. Had some difficulty deciding whether or not to come out. Now he'll come out, and again he was looking down at his feet, and Collins is tripped up by J.C. Penney. J.C. Penney tripped him up right there at the 10-yard line, and down he goes.
That was a great job by J.C. Penney. He covered a lot of ground and reached out and tripped him up. There's a ground level view. There's 21 right there. Look at him reach out and trip him up right there. Great job by J.C. Penney, 21.
Oh, what a great job of kicking by Seelig. He is nailing Oklahoma 1 and 2 yards deep. And on each occasion, they're hesitating back there, not knowing for sure whether or not to come out.
And he's squeezing them down in the left corner, where they don't have the field to run to.
From the wishbone, Perry is the fullback. He batters straight ahead. Rod Carter, 91, led the defense into the fullback. Their last 6 possessions against this Hurricane defense, Oklahoma has totaled merely 30 yards. A phenomenal defensive job here against the wishbone, which now must play catch-up. 2nd and 9. Holloway flips back outside to Collins. He's cut off. He doubles back.
Oh, look at here.
He's got an alley. And Collins gets out near the 30-yard line for a first down. Tremendous individual effort by Collins. Winston Moss was giving chase along with Stubbs.
That Winston Moss did a marvel. You can't believe what he did. If we see this from ground level, watch how Moss runs. Here's the pitch out right there. He decides to turn back, and it looked from up here as if he had leverage all the way down the sideline. This man can really run. Now watch Moss, number 99. See if he comes into your picture here. Finally runs about. He pursued all the way across that field. What a great job Moss did.
And the junior Collins leaves for a breather. Earl Johnson checks in, and they flank him. Holloway down the line with Tillman. And he'll fumble. The ball was loose at the 35-yard line. Miami has recovered. Here it is from the end zone. Tillman is out here with Holloway, who elects to keep it himself. Before he gets it tucked up, he is creamed. Vinny Blades and George Myra, 36 and 45, sandwich him. And Moss had another hand on him, Era.
He sure did. Great contact. That secondary is really tackling. Hurricanes have the ball in great field position.
First and 10, Testeverde rolling to the left. Complete. Did he hold on? Right there. What a catch by Henry.
What a hit by Dixon also. I don't know how he held on to that ball. There's another look at it. Testeverde really puts the ball in here. But watch here as Ricky Dixon comes in. How Henry held on to this ball, I don't know. Right there's the throw. I mean, that's contact.
First and 10 for the Canes. The ball at the 17. Testeverde checks it off at the line. Williams. Great run. Warren Williams with Jamel Holloway, who turned it over, watching from the Sooner bench.
He shook a tackle, and I believe it was Bryan that had him back there. I mean, this is good running by Williams. Really, they had him back in the backfield. Somebody missed an assignment, but he found daylight in there. Picked up 6 yards.
Still almost 8 minutes to go in the third. Williams. Inside the 10-yard line.
Good second effort there by Williams. He was a starter a year ago, and Bratton beat him out, and he's a great back in himself.
Testeverde taking the signal from the sideline. It was 7-3 at the half. The Canes have scored twice in the third and are threatening again. Before the snap. Let's see if Testeverde and the Hurricanes took too much time or there was another infraction.
Yep.
Era, there were some questions about young Testeverde following the Sugar Bowl when Tennessee ambushed him with a variety of blitzes and they climbed all over the Canes down there on New Year's night. But I think here this afternoon he's putting some of those to rest.
He is in that game. Actually, the Tennessee Volunteers were getting to Vinny with 3- and 4-man rushers. But you can see here the line is doing a marvelous job of keeping out the Sooners, and the Sooners look like they're tired too.
3rd and 6. He is down at the 18-yard line, and Seelig trots onto the field to attempt a field goal. The Sooners stiffen. Of course, what has to concern Barry Switzer and his staff is how you come back with basically a run offense. He has to be thinking a little bit of Eric Mitchell, trying the other quarterback in this spot. Seelig trying to make it 24-3. I believe it was a fake, and he stood up and they bobbled the ball, and it'll be Oklahoma's right there. David Kentai was the holder. Era, I thought he was standing up as though it was a fake.
Looked like he might, but it was hard to tell. I looked to see if there was any receivers downfield. No one released off the line. Might have had some kind of gadget on, though.
Maybe he realized it was a bad snap, too. And Sterry is showing his hands that the ball was away from him. It was reaching. I saw him move, and I thought that perhaps they had something on with the score 21-3. Wishbone, Carr is back at fullback. Tillman and Collins are the halves. They bring Tillman out to the 31-yard line, and Randy Shannon and George Myra, 22 and 45, convert. Well, we've talked about the Heisman Trophy and Jim Harbaugh up at Michigan. Long shot playing against Florida State, a tough team, went 9 of 16 for 122 yards. And DJ Dozier, the tailback from Penn State, 71 yards. And they're up. Paul Palmer, the fine running back from Temple, in a losing effort, had 69 yards. So here it is, second and a long 5 for the Sooners. Holloway handing it off, and the fullback Carr is hit immediately. Bill Hawkins, 54, leading the way. So here in the Orange Bowl in Miami, along with Ara Parsegian, I'm Brent Musburger. We've got number 1 Oklahoma against number 2 Miami, and so far it has been all number 2. The Canes lead the Sooners 21-3. They struck first, then Oklahoma kicked a field goal. It was 7-3 at the half. Then in the third quarter, within a span of 44 seconds, the Canes put 2 more touchdowns on the board. On the pitch, it goes to Tillman. Tillman's got an alley and comes out to the 45-yard line. And again, it was Myra giving chase.
It's one of the few times they've been able to execute that triple option to perfection. They dealt it off, got good blocking at the corner, and picked up a first down. But up to now, it's been all Hurricane defense, playing super football. You know,
well, they are 0-3 when they have played in these 1 and 2s. Now they face an 0-4 situation unless they can rally. Holloway down the middle. He's got Jackson open, and look at him bust the tackle. He'll go. He's a great athlete. He had said during the week, let me have it 20 times. I want it 20 times. And Barry said, no, we're not going to throw it to you 20 times. Mr. Jackson, Barry may be changing his mind. You may get it about 18 more times with a run like that. Era, he is a devastating football player. He's unbelievable.
The coaches were right when they told me. I asked him how fast he was. They said, we really don't know, but no one ever catches him. And that was an example of it right there.
Oh, who was trying to bring him down in that secondary? Was that Kevin McCutcheon I saw try?
I think it was.
I think his head is probably still ringing. There's Tim Lasher to attempt the extra point. Don't you dare count the Sooners out. There's a lot of time left here in the Orange Bowl. It is 21-10, 4:15, and what a surge that is going to give the Sooners.
From the ground level here, you can't see how open Keith Jackson was. There's the pass, and there's the reception. Now he shakes loose, spins off. That's Blades. I mean, he's a good football player, number 36. And he goes all the way with no one catching him.
The first man that hit him, Kevin McCutcheon, he's over here at the sideline. He's asked for aspirin, Tylenol, Bufferin. He wants the whole thing. And we'll be right back.
To reach for something bigger. To master a more challenging world. To feel the confidence and pride of knowing who you are, what you can do. Show the world your U.S. Navy. Live the adventure. Call 1-800-327-NAVY.
And unfortunately, that's the weather picture for tonight.
Roger is a weatherman. He knows the difference between little storms and big storms. And recently, when he saw a big one coming, the first place he went was his Honda generator dealer.
Hey, you're the weatherman. I need a real good generator.
And by the time the storm hit, Roger was prepared. The Honda generator, because you never know what the weather will bring.
A Man Called Sweetness, tomorrow on CBS Sports.
We're back in the Orange Bowl. We've got 4:15 to play in the third quarter. It's 21-10 now as the Sooners have scored for the first time. Ball is teed up for Thompson. J.C. Penney is the deep man. He has been kicking short, but high. Scooped up by Williams. Hammered down at the 26-yard line, and the man who scored for Oklahoma, Keith Jackson. I said to Keith, how often do you tell Barry, throw the ball to me, coach?
Almost every day, every hour of the day. I think I tell Coach Switzer, let me do an in and around and throw the ball back to Jamel. He said, that's crazy. We're not going to do anything like that. So you don't have to worry about the in and around and throwing the ball back to the quarterback this game, but next game you have to watch out for it.
Well, here he is over the middle, and watch this first hit, what happens. Oh, I can't hold on. He's gone. Down goes McCutcheon, and Jackson's in. I don't know. Maybe he'll be able to throw it back.
It's a lot of man.
4:08. And they run the halfback. First down, Vinny Testeverde, who had tied Kozar's school record with 10 completed passes, comes up with a running play on first down. A 4-yard gain, and it is 2nd and 6. Alonzo Highsmith, the running back. He's the fullback. Mel Bratton is the tail. Highsmith comes over here on the wing. Bratton on a cutback. Scrambles to the 35-yard line. Emiliazzo, number 42, was the first Sooner defender there. This is 3rd and 2.
Big play, and keep in mind that with 3 minutes and 11 seconds left to go in this quarter, that's a 4th period. The Sooners at least will enjoy the win factor, and they'll be passing downwind.
Testeverde will be passing, shovels it inside to Highsmith. First down, he keeps the drive going. He gets to the 45-yard line. Very well executed play. He sucked them in.
Little shovel pass, great call. And they pick up the first down, maintain possession of the ball. Another ground level view here. You see Testy comes back into the pocket, and then he deals it off with his left hand. I mean, that's showing a little class there. And there you see a great runner by Highsmith.
Ball is at the 44 with this 1st and 10. Now that goes as a completed pass, so give him 11 in a row and a record. Time for Testeverde. Make it 12 in a row as Perriman is across midfield. Down to the 49-yard line.
It was Bosworth that came over there, showed great speed that time. Right there, number 44. End zone view of it. There's Vinny back in that pocket. Looks. Great protection. Looks out to the right. There's the throw to Perriman. And here comes Bosworth over. Chases him down.
There was an interesting replay. Bosworth was frozen for a count before he made a move on Testeverde. 2nd down. Over the middle. Great touch by Henry. Oh, my, at the 31-yard line.
What great touch by Vinny Testeverde on that pass. Perfect. Dropped it over the linebackers. Right into the hands of Henry.
At the Oklahoma 30.
Charles Henry, the junior from St. Petersburg.
Here it is. Look at that nice touch. And beautiful catch there by Henry as well.
1st and 10 for the Canes. 1:38 to go. We're in the 3rd quarter. It's 21-10, Miami over Oklahoma. The middle, touchdown, Hurricanes, Irvin.
you see Testeverde puts it right on the money. Last year, Irvin caught a 56-yarder. This time a 30-yarder for touchdown. Perfect throw, perfect route against that defense.
Well, behind every successful quarterback, there stands a parent at some place in his life. And in Testeverde's case, it was his father, who in Elmont, New York, said to the young man, "Do you want to be the best?" And Vinny said, "You bet I do." And there is Mr. Testeverde celebrating touchdown pass number 4. Way to go, Vinny. Oh, it's great to live through your son. I'd love a quarterback like that.
You see it right there.
Let's go down to Pat O'Brien. Pat.
All right, Brent, we're with Alan Josie Testeverde. Tell me the birthday story.
Oh, he promised me 1 touchdown, but I didn't expect this. This is just too much.
You guys were a little nervous. I saw you before the contest this afternoon. How are your nerves now, Mrs. Testeverde?
Oh, I don't know. I'm numb. I'm just numb.
You get pretty excited at these games, don't you?
Oh, what makes you say that one? Nice and cool.
What about the Heisman Trophy? How much do you want that for your son?
Oh, I want it bad. I want it real bad. It belongs to us. We were made for it. My son was made for the Heisman Trophy.
All right, Brent, the proud father visits his son at the office. Let's go upstairs.
I love it. My son was made for the Heisman Trophy, indeed. And he may have wrapped it up here this afternoon. That time, Selig said, "I won't even give you a tough decision. I'm just going to ride this one on out." At 28-10. So tomorrow we'll have more action coming your way, National Football League style. How about that instant replay rule? Should we throw it out? We're going to give you a chance to vote tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern time, so we sure want you along for that. Then you want to hear what Joe Montana has to say about his recovery from the back surgery. And our games, well, we'll tee up the big one, the Bears and the Bengals. New Orleans against the Giants. The 49ers are here in Miami. They'll take on the Dolphins. Don Shula trying to put that defense back together. Rams, Eagles, Packers, Vikings, Lions, Browns. Uphill again for the Sooners. Tillman, number 23, and Randy Shannon, number 22. Smacks him down. I don't think it'll be long before they'll be trying to find number 88 again.
Well, I think they're going to wait for the wind that fourth quarter. It is, well, it's quieted down some, but it is favoring the fourth quarter for the Sooners. And we're only 54 seconds away from that.
The Sooners now need some big plays, and they're capable of that. Holloway down the line. He keeps it to the lane. Out across the 30, and the little man is wrapped up at the 31-yard line. Benny Blades, 36. They list him at 5'11", and down at practice, Barry Switzer called over our spotter, Mr. James Tubbs, and said, "How tall are you?" And this young man said 5'9". He said, "Look here at my quarterback." He stood him back to back. Our spotter was taller than Holloway. Big things, though, sometimes come in small packages, and Switzer says that Holloway runs that triple option better than any quarterback he's ever had. Right now, he needs big plays. They break the bone, they send out one of the halves, and they run Perry, the fullback, straight ahead.
They were in the same formation that they'd hit Jackson with previously. I thought they were going to come back with it again, but they elected to give the ball to the fullback.
One of the plays that they normally use in every game is the tight end around with Jackson. They have rehearsed a fake off of that, and they have passed rolling in the other direction.
Yeah.
Oh, the clock is going to run out on the third quarter here. We could be crowning the next national champion. There's a long way to go, but Miami leads it. We'll be right back after this message and a word from your local station.
Pure, natural glass protects the taste of the drinks inside. Choose just the right size in single-service containers or big reusable bottles, knowing that the good things that come in recyclable glass come just as their maker intended. Brought to you by the people who make glass containers, naturally.
We're NCI. To score points with you, we must choose our communications weapons carefully. That's why we compete with products like Prism, the ultimate concept in watts. For maximum flexibility as your monthly call patterns change. We know our competition's good. We know we have to be better. And because we compete, you win. MCI. Communications for the next 100 years.
This is CBS.
Healthcare Network is part of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield family. Doctors' offices are close by. Those are real comforts.
If you need care when you're out of town, just show your Blue Healthcare Network card. Instant recognition.
Blue is better.
It's a plan you manage with your doctor with serious savings and no claim forms.
Wherever you travel, you're covered.
Healthcare Network offers you coverage statewide and nationwide. It's another one of the better things that's Blue.
Buccaneers bested the Lions last week in the Silverdome. It was a key blow early in a season of high hopes, but there are still 13 weeks of football left. I'm Fred McLeod. Sunday on the Darryl Rogers Show, we'll hear what the coach has to say about last week's crushing defeat. And we'll see if the Lions are ready now to bounce back against the Browns Sunday in Cleveland. Join us on the Darryl Rogers Show, Sunday at noon. The NFL Today at 12:30, and the Lions versus the Browns at 1 o'clock.
Crack, starting Monday on Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock.
CBS Sports presents college football, sponsored by Michelob Light, super premium taste and less filling beer. State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by MCI, communications for the next 100 years. The architect, and perhaps the calmest man I have ever been around, 48 hours prior to a game such as this. On second and long, Holloway flares one, and the Canes were ready for Tillman. Randy Shannon, 22, led the assault.
Looks like there's going to be a personal foul penalty. Personal foul against the Sooners.
So that'll move them back further into a hole here in the Orange Bowl. In the first half, we had only one touchdown scored. In the third quarter, we had 4. 3 of them by the Hurricanes, and they lead Oklahoma 28-10. You know, maybe wide receiver Michael Irvin, who's caught 2 of those 4 touchdown passes, had something when they said, what about this Oklahoma game? Aren't you, fired up? He said, well, Oklahoma, I'm looking ahead to next week in Northern Illinois.
Personal on the offense. Third down.
Well, they have broken the bone. And Shepard and Cavanis, wide receivers, come in, and a single setback. Holloway to scramble. Great run out to the 33, but he needed 28 yards for a first down, so the Sooners will still have to punt.
Well, he's really dangerous. Here he is in the pocket, doesn't find anyone open, neglects to run it, sees a big seam. Watch him make a defender miss. Right here. Oh, he really fakes him out right there.
Winchester. It's a punt again for the Sooners. Kintai and Perriman are back deep. Perriman at the 26. Steps out of bounds. Vinny Testeverde with 4 touchdown passes. 3 of them in the third quarter. And Oklahoma's scoring play was a big touchdown pass from Holloway to Jackson. Miami has shut down this feared triple option. Once they got ahead in this game, it really changed things.
You know, Miami has faced the #1 rushing team in the country. almost 500 yards a game and have really done a number for over 3 periods of contest.
Highsmith on a nice cutback move. Gets to the 36-yard line with Dixon bringing him down. Hey, Rutgers, they stayed unbeaten there. Haven't they just been once tied this year? Army having some difficulty.
Boy.
Hey, that's a 2-game winning streak.
2 in a row.
Bring on another Ivy League team. Maybe we could schedule Harvard. Second down. Highsmith. Battered. And that was Dante Jones, number 50. Linebacker.
Dante Jones, stop it.
TCU just can't beat SMU, can they?
3 at the Miami 35-yard line.
And the Irish.
Nice win. Lou. Oh, boy.
3rd down and 3.
Scramble around back there. A lot of poise. Look at this.
Bratton incomplete. He had him open, too.
I thought it looked like the trajectory was going to be just right. Just overthrew him a tad. But he does it with ease. It doesn't seem to be any panic about it. It's just a matter of moving around. He has a big stride. He's strong. He keeps looking down the field. It's been very impressive today.
Era, in this situation as a coach, when you trail 28-10 with 12-26, would you think about going after the punter and trying to come up with a big play with your kicking game and get a block?
I think so. But it looks like they only have 8 men up. Ought to be able to handle 8-man rush.
Eagles standing on his own 20. Gets it off, and Collins signals the fair catch and then lets it bounce. Inside the 25-yard line. We'll come back with 12:14 to go, and number 2 dominating number 1.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't be buttoned up and down to earth underneath it all?
Who says you can't have super premium taste and a less filling beer?
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
This is today's Chevrolet S10 Blazer.
For the fun, for the chores, for the town, or the great outdoors, it's all there for you.
Weekends, work, or just plain cruising. Chevy S10 Blazer can do it all with versatility, style, and a touch of fun. No wonder it's America's favorite sport utility vehicle.
Now the big one. Get 2.9% financing or up to $750 cash rebates on most new 86 Chevy trucks.
On the NFL Today, 2-time Super Bowl MVP Joe Montana discusses the injury that now threatens his career. Tomorrow on CBS Sports.
Hovering overhead the Orange Bowl, the Goodyear blimp, and the Captain Drew Marshall from Vienna, Virginia, has been up there this afternoon providing those spectacular shots of this ever-expanding skyline down here in Miami. And a football program that is starting to ripen. They don't appear to be any fluke, do they? 12:14 to go, and they got the Sooners reeling. Holloway pitches. And Johnson comes out to the 27 with Selwyn Brown, 32, bringing him down at that point.
Brown did a super job, number 32 there. He's been injured, bruised his leg again, or ankle, but came back in here and he did a nice job of warding off the block and making the play.
Era Berry has to be thinking about putting the ball up here quickly and trying to get one fast if he can.
Yeah, I think he'd be better off going on first down rather than second down where you've got long yardage situation. They'll lay back on you. There he goes with the wide out, but he's still in the unbalanced to the right.
It's a late substitution, too. And Holloway overled Stafford. It's incomplete. I simply threw the ball too far in front of him. And it is 3rd down and 7 to go with Alonzo Highsmith, that big, tough running back. He's been offering some fine blocks.
I think he's got to try. Excuse me, Brian. I think Barry's got to try to get that ball to Keith Jackson again. He's such a imposing force. Just throw it to him and let him jump up and get it. I mean, he's.
He was looking for him and under pressure that time. They have forced the Sooner punt. And while the punting team goes on, let's check in with Jim Nance. Jim.
All right, Brent, some of the other outstanding performances today. In Ohio State's 600th win in school history, fullback George Cooper only 8 carries, but he scored on 4 of those. Navy shut out Lehigh. Chuck Smith 4 touchdowns for the midshipmen. And in Nevada Reno's big win over Montana State, Lucius Floyd 305 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. Let's go back to Miami,
where we are ready for Winchester's 7th punt. Gets it off. Here's Perriman, the 32. Trying to get outside to the left, and he will not. And there's a penalty flag down.
There's a clip on the play.
Perriman was trying to get around the left side arrow when that clip was thrown.
He's got great speed. He thought he could make it to the corner.
So we'll get it marked off. We'll take a little break. And when you come back, there will be 11-12 to go in the battle for number 1.
Your life is changing, and State Farm is there.
I'm State Farm agent Jim
Parsegan. I'm Brett Musburger. We're at the Orange Bowl, where Miami is beating Oklahoma 28-10. Let's give you a quick scoring recap. Miami struck first. Testeverde's first of 4 touchdown passes to a tight end. Then Oklahoma closed to within 4 before the intermission with a field goal from 31 yards by Lasher. But in the 3rd quarter, in a span of 44 seconds, Testeverde hit his other tight end, Henry. And then, after Oklahoma fumbled the kickoff, the Canes came right back, and Testeverde went to Irvin, and it was 21-3. Oklahoma closed in as Holloway went 54 yards to his great tight end, but Testeverde led Miami back down the field. It was 30 yards and a 28-10 margin. Testeverde takes over again. And in the battle for the Heisman Trophy, it has been all Testeverde since the opening moments, with penalty flags down. And, Errol, what are some of your overviews here on this?
Well, I've got to compliment, first of all, the Hurricane defense. It's been a remarkable performance. They had 2 weeks to get ready for the Bone, did a superb job. I talked with the coordinator, Dave Wannstedt, yesterday, and you could see that they had prepared exceptionally well. And then, of course, the offense has executed well when they got the
dead ball, illegal procedure on the offense.
When they've had the ball, they have executed well, but they couldn't have done the job without that defense stopping the Sooners.
1st and 15 as a result of that penalty. Out of his end zone, and he's got his tight end again. Alfredo Roberts. Out to the 42-yard line. A 33-yard gain for Testeverde. Errol, when Dan Marino was here earlier, he and I had an opportunity to chat quickly about Testeverde, and he said the one thing that the fans should watch for is that he's got all the passes. He can throw over the middle, or he can throw this hard ball right here to the side. He said he doesn't lack anything as far as an NFL arm is concerned.
Well, he has it. By the same token, the receivers did a beautiful job of running marvelous routes, splitting the zone, and having a receiver like Roberts be wide open.
Testeverde is 21 of 26 for 261 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he drops one off to Williams. There is a penalty marker down. Penalty flag at the 40-yard line is down. Boy, they've had some great quarterbacks here at Miami, haven't they? You think back recently to Bernie Kosar. He led them to the national championship. And before that, there was Jim Kelly. He's now up in Buffalo. Howard Schnellenberger brought those quarterbacks in along with Testeverde, and then Jimmy Johnson has kept the program going. But I'll tell you, there was a man who preceded all of them, and he's now got a son who plays linebacker. I can't believe it. Let's go down to Pat O'Brien. Pat?
Thank you, Brent. His name is George Myra. They called that in the early 60s the age of miracles. What do you think of your Hurricanes today, George?
Well, I think Miami's got a great football team. I think they've proven it out there today. They got a great offense, and their defense has been super.
They have a youngster on this team named George Myra Jr. Assess his abilities. He's having a good day, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He had a real good year last year, and he started off the season exceptionally well this year. And today I've been watching him pretty close, and he's having a fine ball game.
Now the crowd is yelling, Myra, Myra, Myra here. Is that for you?
I think that's for George Jr. I'm in the past.
Go back upstairs to Brent.
All right, Pat, thank you. I don't think George is missing too many meals.
I don't think George would be the Matador anymore. we played against him back when I was at Northwestern. He was really an elusive quarterback. He'd really scramble, but I don't know, George, not anymore, huh?
Well, the fans here in the Orange Bowl are hooting it up. They think they've got one in hand. With 10:53 to go, they're up 28-10.
We have holding on the offense.
And it's going to be a long ride back to Norman, unless the Sooners can bounce back here in a hurry. There were 2 flags thrown on this play. That's why we're having some confusion. Here's the other one.
Dead ball. Personal on the defense.
Oh, wow.
Automatic first down. First.
Bosworth wants a little explanation. Testeverde looks for the play from the sideline.
He's telling him that a personal foul is an automatic first down, is what he's telling him.
So easy. One of the players is so bored he's yawning down there on the bench. Come on, there's still 10:53 to go here. Well, he takes a big jump in that Heisman Trophy race, doesn't he? If you're going to have a game like this, have it on national television and take it right to one of your closest challengers. Testeverde back again.
Look at that protection.
Oh, great job by the offensive line today, but they couldn't hold up forever. And Bosworth coming in brings him down, and now he helps him back up. The 2 men have appeared together at some preseason All-American functions here in Miami, and both of them have expressed admiration for the other player. Most of Bosworth, if you want to know the truth, is hype. He's a pretty quiet, down-to-earth fella. He just likes to paint his hair 3 different colors and wear an earring number 44, just like your average next door. And there is Vinny. Remember those linebackers, you know, they're a little bit like that era.
Just very routine.
Second down at 24. Testeverde again checking off. He's got to hurry. Now he calls timeout. He was going to be penalized. He called a timeout. And that gives the Hurricanes only 1. So we'll take a break, and we'll come back to the Orange Bowl in just a moment.
Back in the Orange Bowl, I'm Pat O'Brien. You know, when you look at these players, you don't only see talent and speed and all that kind of stuff. You see jewelry. I want to show you some of our chosen jewelry here. Jerome Brown, first of all. And then I'll check out Michael Irvin's earrings. Not to be outdone by Jamel Holloway's earrings. And the Boz, number 44 in his ear. And he talked to us. We asked him about this, and he talked to us about just why he wears jewelry.
The earring is a reflection of individuality from the Oklahoma Sooners. I basically say don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't conform to society. You can be your own person and still be accepted.
Brent, what kind of jewelry does the Boz wear? Any kind he wants. Go upstairs.
Hey, Era, how many players of yours wore earrings?
Not in my time.
Williams is stopped as he comes across the line of scrimmage. That was Steve Bryan, number 86, who whacked him down. And the Sooners must have a big play, either defensively or offensively. They need to create something quickly. There's time. It's 28-10, but they've got to hurry.
Well, they should get the ball back. This is 3rd and exceptionally long yardage, 25 to go. But you can't count this Miami team out. They can strike in big chunks.
Testeverde studies the defense. 3rd and 25. The safety blitz was on that time, and it was picked up. Out of bounds, incomplete, intended for Perriman. Boy, did the Hurricanes pick that blitz up that time and buy him some extra seconds. The blocking for Testeverde today has been fabulous.
His composure is another thing that I admire. He sits right in there, looks down the field for the open receiver. This one is thrown just like how Perriman tries to stay in. Ball was thrown wide, but still, Vinny's had quite an afternoon.
Eagles the punt. Patrick Collins, the return man for OU. Under pressure, he gets it off. They were coming that time, and Fiegels booms a beauty. Collins right there at the 21-yard line. A 47-yard punt under pressure, and the kicking game today has been in Miami's favor. No doubt about that.
He got a lot of pressure, Brent, as you pointed out, but he still got off a damn it.
Now we can check the scoreboard with Auburn. Taking it right to Tennessee. Jeff Berger, fine quarterback for Pat Dye. Lou Holtz about to win his first game. South Bend this afternoon. Sanford doing a fine job. Jack Elway, the coach, and John Pace, a good-looking quarterback. On a first down, Holloway, overthrow, interception. Coming back is Vinny Blades. He's out of bounds. A penalty marker is down.
Just a poor throw here by Holloway. Just throws the ball right up in the air. He was trying to hit Jackson. Jackson was delayed. And of course, Bain grabs it, runs down the right sideline. Watch him hurdle right here. Right over top of the tackler.
Is that illegal to hurdle arrow?
It really is. Hurdling is illegal. And there's a flag down. I don't know whether he called that or not. They don't call it very often.
See what the official says.
Illegal use of the hand. On the opening.
That was illegal use of the feet that we were looking at.
Well, Vinny Blades is really outstanding. He's run a 4.38, 4.3840, and he's 207 pounds. I mean, he's a real man.
An 18-point lead by Miami. And the Hurricanes came into this game a touchdown underdog. Well, this is a big step in going all the way, Benny.
Well, this team has played, in my opinion, an outstanding game, this Hurricane ball club.
Warren Williams is in at tailback. This is Williams. Cuts it up inside to the 22-yard line. When you study the Miami schedule, it is not all that difficult this year. For example, West Virginia having a bit of a down year. The Seminoles are struggling. Pittsburgh is trying to rebuild under a new coach. I can foresee the Hurricanes going unbeaten and winding up here in the Orange Bowl and then playing the winner of the Nebraska-Oklahoma game.
Very strong possibility.
Mel Bratton checks back in at halfback. Penalty markers down. Time had expired again. Lou Holtz has number one, Coach.
Congratulations to Lou. I mean, that's a great win for him. Number one. He was so close in the first two. Lost them by a total of 6 points. And looks like they may be on the move, although they got to play Alabama next week down in Birmingham.
So here in the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, the Hurricanes lead the Oklahoma Sooners 28-10. It was 7-3, Miami at the half. Then in the third quarter, the Canes exploded, scoring 3 touchdowns while the Sooners had 1. Oklahoma made it 21-10, and then Vinny Testeverde came back with his 4th touchdown pass of this afternoon. It has been a tremendous performance by the senior quarterback. Bratton, halfback option. He's got time. He throws it for Brown. No good. Ricky Dixon with coverage. And Bratton said, oh, I want passes.
The halfback pass, it looks like a sweep. Bratton says, I can not only can run, but I can throw. And he launches this ball. Look at him cock that arm. He says, I'm going to take your job, Vinny. Andre Brown coming down. Number 83, he's looking for the ball. Oh, it goes right over his shoulder. Oh, my.
Did that hit his helmet, Aaron?
It looked like it might have.
Bratton's still jumping up and down. He had him one. On 3rd down, Testeverde says, take a look, Mel. He fires one. Incomplete.
Looked like that could have been a flag there.
And Derek White with a great move down there in the end zone to bat that ball away. Now, number 14 was the defender. Watch this on Testeverde. He fires this ball into the end zone.
Look at him scramble out. Looking down the field. Now he really drills it right there. Let's see what kind of... All right, good defensive play. Good defensive move on Blades.
Just knocked the ball right away. It was White. Field goal is up by Seelig. No good. Harold, let's take one more look at that halfback pass by Bratton here.
Looks like it hits Andre Brown right in the helmet here. Let's see if it's the shoulder or the helmet. On his left shoulder, ball looks like he's going to catch it. It does. It hits him in the mask, although White might have deflected that ball. His hand was right near the mask. Or I should say Dixon, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Dixon. And then White came back and knocked the ball away from Blades, Coach. He's already had 4. He was gunning for number 5, wasn't he? 7-19 for the Sooners. They have broken the bone, and Holloway will throw from the pocket. Complete on 1st down to Derek Shepard, the wide receiver from Odessa, Texas.
A little spearing, I think. They're going to call it against Miami, I think. Looked like spearing from here, about the 3rd or 4th guy, and I could not see the number. Personal foul, 15, 1st down.
You know, Era, there are some games which elevate coach's status, and this one is going to move Jimmy Johnson up in the eyes of a whole lot of folks.
Well, everything was on the line here for the number 1 ranking, and certainly with 7 minutes left to go, it'll be hard pressed for Oklahoma to score 18 points.
Personal foul, late hit on the defense, 1st down.
Ball is out at the 49-yard line. It'll be 1st down. Shepard and Cavanis are the wide receivers. Holloway, he wanted Collins coming around from the wing. Collins with an alley. And he slips inside the 35-yard line with Blades and McCutcheon in pursuit. And there's the kind of play we expected earlier.
Yeah, but he did a fine job of running. That should have been negative yardage. The contained man was in perfect position. Just good running. Now you can watch it here. You'll see the pitch out right there. And I think that is Brown. Is that 98? I can't quite see the number. Jones or Brown had him dead to rights. Good running here. Avoided the tackle, and he picked up positive yardage on it.
Anthony Phillips downfield throwing that last block for Collins. 6:52 left for the Sooners. Holloway back. Knocked down. And that is Stubbs. Number 96 has played a great game here today.
That's really the handicap for Jamel Holloway. At his size and height, he cannot see. And you see Stubbs stepped in there at 6'4", 245 pounds, batted the ball down, and poor Holloway just couldn't see downfield.
Lonzo Highsmith watching from the bench with 6:47, and that clock can't move fast enough for the Hurricanes now. Oklahoma will try to slow it down and get something going. Holloway slides and breaks a tackle and gets to the 23-yard line. The ball was taken away, but the whistle had blown. Steve Bryan, whose brother Ricky Bryan, one of those responsible for turning the Atlanta Falcons' fortunes around. Family out of Colita, Oklahoma. Whole flock of brothers, and they're all good football players. Coach Jimmy Johnson is from that part of the country. He played football at Arkansas.
He must have known something. He was so calm on Thursday and Friday. Knew his team was going to play well.
3rd and 1 for Oklahoma. Holloway has the first down. George Myrick Jr. wraps him up. The clock stops at 6:19. Stopping now after first downs is important. If Switzer can punch one in and get a 2-point conversion, he would pull to within 10.
Holloway's had 15 carries and 75 yards.
He's going to throw this one under pressure, and down he goes, and there's a penalty marker down. Did someone grab a face mask when they reached around?
Because I didn't see anything else that it could have been. 98 Jerome Brown played a great game today. Yep.
A break for the Sooners at the 6:03 mark.
Let's see if it's just a 5-yarder or the big one. The judgment of the official, whether or not it's advertent or inadvertent.
Johnson a little worked up on the sideline.
Yeah. What is it? I don't know who he's hot at there.
We have a face mask, 5 yards on the defense, behind the line. It's enforced from the line of scrimmage.
15-yard line.
Brian Bosworth said that the one thing he feared about today more than anything else, losing. He said, I did that too much in high school. I don't want any more of that. Holloway has an alley, battling his way inside that 10-yard line with Benny Blades there in pursuit at the 5:49 mark. The Sooners hustling down.
6-yard gain is the first and goal. Oklahoma at the 9-yard.
This will be a 1st and goal for Oklahoma. They're not quite out of bullets yet, are they?
No, they're still moving the football. You can see the concern of Jimmy Johnson.
Next week we'll see Iowa, Michigan State, 2:30 Eastern time on CBS. Holloway having some difficulty again at the closed in here. .549 left on that clock. And the little man trying to pull some rabbits out of a hat for Coach Switzer. Barry stuck right by him, didn't he, Eric? Never once did he bring in Eric Mitchell, who's a fine athlete over there. It was Holloway's game to win or lose. He batters the fullback straight ahead, Leon Perry, out of Orlando, Florida.
George Myra, the tackle.
And another number called for George Myra, who has had a busy afternoon at middle linebacker. 2nd and 5. Holloway steps into the 4-yard line before Myra again meets him.
Hurricanes are sticking in there tough defensively.
This will be a 3rd down with the clock moving. Fullback is short of the end zone. It's going to be a 4th and goal. Jerome Brown, 98, led that charge for Coach Johnson. Oklahoma will call a timeout. So that will give them 2. When you come back, it might be the last chance for the Sooners. 4th and goal.
WIOD.
Hello, I'm Leona, your automatic teller. Can I help you with a student loan?
No, a car loan, Leona. Fast forward.
A home improvement loan.
It's a General Motors car. Don't get hassled when you finance a new car or truck. Get GMAC financing only at your GM dealer. Is there someone live I could talk with around
Do we
here?
have one of our calendars? This is a farm calendar. We also have what they call a print calendar. If I can only find it.
Today's Equitable has new life insurance ideas that can provide money for a secure and comfortable retirement. Today's Equitable, your key to financial opportunity. We have new kinds of insurance that do more than just protect your family. They can help you earn the money for your new home. Today's Equitable, your key to financial opportunity. Our new insurance ideas can do a lot for you. Talk to us. Your key to financial opportunity. A Man Called Sweetness, tomorrow on CBS Sports.
The defense will try to prevent Oklahoma from scoring on a 4th and goal with 4:15 to go. Jimmy Johnson leading Barry Switzer 28-10.
Let's see if he breaks the backfield or not to reduce the defense. No, they're staying in 2 tight ends in the full house. Bunching them up. I'll be darned. I thought he was down over there.
That was Dan Celio got inside. Jimmy Johnson can't believe what has just transpired here. They are signaling touchdown. And, of course, Oklahoma will go for the 2 points. I thought he was down on the bobble.
From this vantage point, it appeared that he was down.
Now, the coaches are having difficulty. Let's take another look at this one. Now, watch. Holloway did not have the snap. The ball is on the ground. He's trying to get back outside. Now, here he is wrapped up. On his way down, he laterals the ball, and it is scooped up. A 2-point conversion. Incomplete. He wanted Jackson. So Stafford scooped the ball up on the bounce and took it in for the Sooners. Take another look at this, Inera. How about this play?
Let's take a look and see whether his legs are down. It's a judgment call on the part of the officials. It looks closer than it was when I first saw it. Now let's see right there. If the official had not blown the whistle, then it's a live play. And apparently it wasn't. One time he blew the whistle early on that punt. Now look, he fumbles the ball, picks it up. Now he turns into the seam. He's tackled right there. Starts to come down. Deals it off. It's still a legal ball because you can advance the pitch, as long as it's lateral or backward.
Now the bigger play of the game might have been the missed 2-point conversion. Had they made that, they would have pulled to within 10 points at the 4:08 mark. Now here's the play. Holloway wants Jackson, who breaks free, throws the ball, overleads him, and on beyond the end line. Now, Miami has to expect an onside kick in this situation at the 4:08.
Let's see if they punch that ball up like they did in the end of the half, where they send it up in the air and try to get down real quick. You can see the Miami is deployed for an onside kick. There's the onside.
They need 2 scores, and it's wrapped up beautifully. That was Basil Proctor, number 2, who wrapped that one up, a defensive back put in by the Hurricanes because they expected the onside kick.
Well, it's still 4 minutes and 6 seconds, Brent. We've seen Switzer on many occasions in games such as this pull him out of the fire. I've done a couple games up in Nebraska that he did it when I didn't think it could happen, but they got to get the ball back.
It is 1st and 10, and we'll watch what Testeverde and Jimmy Johnson decide to do. They run Highsmith with the clock running down. Oklahoma's 2 timeouts, and Miami with 1.
You know, Brent, Miami's had marvelous field position in this second half. Their average starting field position is their own 49-yard line.
Boy, that missed 2-pointer really makes it tough for him. He trails by 12 at the 3:38 mark. So a combination of a touchdown, a 2-point, and a field goal won't do it for Oklahoma. They've got to get 2 touchdowns. That's tough going. That's 3:30. They've got to go at him with everything they can. And Testeverde's going to put one in the air. No, he's not. There's a penalty flag down. Testeverde goes out of bounds inside the 40-yard line, but there's a penalty marker thrown back at the 44.
Probably offensive holding.
Could be on Bratton. He was way back as a bodyguard. The crowd is chanting a little melody toward Brian Bosworth.
Oh, he's clipping.
And that chant was, "Bye-bye, Bosworth. We hate to see you go."
He's taking a little run action. Can't find anyone open. Decides to hold it. Then he finds a seam. Very wise move to get it out of bounds here, not take any shots. You don't want to get hurt at this stage of the game. There's still a lot of season to play.
Number 1, Red Bank. 2nd and 22.
What a game he's had.
Oh, has he?
Oof.
The blitz.
Deep drop and a blitz. He gets away from Vickers.
Look at him get away.
It's the second man. Vickers comes back at him, and they hammer him at the 25-yard line at the 3:10 mark.
Smart not to throw an interception there, although he could throw it out of bounds and saved himself some negative yardage.
Well, we've got a timeout. That'll reduce Oklahoma's number to 1. And thanks to this crew that provided us with our great coverage down here in the Orange Bowl this afternoon. Here we've got 3:04 to go. It's 28-16. Miami leading Oklahoma. There have been some fine moments provided, many of them by Testeverde. A day to celebrate here in Miami, especially if you're a Hurricane backer. The folks down here are hoping that the Dolphins can recover some magic tomorrow. They play the San Francisco 49ers here in the Orange Bowl. They come to the line of scrimmage at the 3-minute mark. Highsmith breaks free. Oklahoma with 1 timeout remaining. Switzer trailing it by 12. Now a blocked punt here for a great return. There's still an opportunity. Remember, they're going to need 2 touchdowns. Low snap, but they were not going after it. Nails one high. Oh, coming around is Patrick Collins. Brought down at the 15.
He was trying to find a seam. The Miami team kept pressuring, kept him in containment.
Danny Mariscal, number 55, finally wrapped him up. 43-yard punt. They get another 8 yards with a backward return. 2:09. And it looks like we're going to have a new number 1 this week. Now let's see what kind of a play the Sooners will come up with. Single setback. Hawkins has got Holloway. Number 54 stormed in on a right defensive spot. And Holloway never had a chance. What a defensive performance. We've been raving about Testeverde, but this whole performance today was keyed by the Hurricane defense.
No question about it in my mind. This Oklahoma team came in here averaging 501 yards. They only had 265 right now. There's enough. They add on to that a little bit, but this has been a great job by the defense, in my opinion.
Lavinus, the receiver.
They shut down a very, very explosive football team. Great team speed, big offensive line for the Sooners. But they did an excellent job of defensing the bone. They stayed disciplined. Everybody stayed where they were supposed to, warded off blocks, and made Oklahoma go the hard way. There's Barry. He's been a heck of a football coach. He's got a tremendous record.
It's 3rd and 10. Hawkins coming again. Intercepted. That one is picked off by McCutcheon. McCutcheon's inside the 15 at the 120 mark.
Flag.
Penalty marker down, and some pushing and shoving on the far side. Breaks out. Now both teams rush over there.
Oh, I hate to see this. Oh.
It is a shame to see an ugly incident mar what has been a fine football game between numbers 1 and 2. And the cooler heads are stepping in there. Now this interception was preceded by another strong charge by Hawkins. He was coming hard from the rear. McCutcheon stepped up, took it right away, and started down the left side. And then, as McCutcheon was pushed out of bounds by Stafford, pushing and shoving broke out. The penalty flags started flying. The officials will get it sorted out. 1:22 to go. And Brian Bosworth and Oklahoma have come to Miami, but they will return to Norman empty-handed.
Couldn't quite tell from the far side, on the far side over there, what precipitated that. There was a flag that came down about 2 or 3 yards behind where the ball carrier, McCutcheon, had been driven out. And there must have been a confrontation between 2 of the players, and then it erupted from there.
One of the dangers in a situation like that is that a player might get hurt, A, or that somebody from the stands goes down. Gets into the middle of it.
He's throwing somebody out of the game.
Jimmy Johnson being informed of what transpired and which players are being tossed out of the game.
A bit more information here from the referee.
.122 left. Well, we've got a moment. Let's announce our Chevrolet most valuable players in the game. Vinny Testeverde of the Miami Hurricanes, 21 of 28, 261 yards and 4 touchdowns. And for Oklahoma, the big tight end who scored their touchdown, Keith Jackson, caught 2 passes for 69 yards and 1 touchdown. And a check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Chevrolet to each school's general scholarship fund to further assist qualified students in all chosen academic fields.
Too bad we couldn't give that award to all the Hurricane defensive players because they really had a day.
Well, it won't be 1 versus 2, but it figures to be a pretty good ball game. The Iowa Hawkeyes of Hayden Fry and George Perlis's Michigan State Spartans, 2:30 Eastern time, and out west, you'll see those Arizona State Sun Devils against the UCLA Bruins. Boy, the Bruins have to be shaking their heads this afternoon. This can't be the same Oklahoma team we played.
How about Minnesota?
63-0. Berry hadn't given up a touchdown for 2 games. Here today, he gets touched for 4.
That look right there, he doesn't like to lose any more than I did. None of the coaches do.
Now they're stomping on the bench. The old Miami Hurricane stomp is beginning. Perriman coming around on an end around. Perriman short in the end zone. And Bosworth over there on the coverage. 11-yard gain. You know what Barry's wondering? Is Jimmy Johnson going to jam one down my throat at the minute 10 mark? That's exactly what he's thinking about right now. And the Hurricanes are saying, let's get another one.
And they probably will here. They're at the 4-yard line, 3.5-yard line. Got another official timeout. This place is rocking, isn't it?
I think there's somebody down over there. Hard to see because he's surrounded.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Is that Perriman the receiver? Yes, it is. Watch Perriman. He was snapped down pretty hard on this
I
side.
thought there was a face mask right there. They didn't get that. They jerked his head around there. That's what I thought I had seen.
That was Bosworth who had a hold of him and snapped him down.
I thought he moved around rather abnormally.
I couldn't tell, though, from that picture whether he had a hand on the face mask or not, whether he just pulled him down from the neck on the jersey.
The interesting thing is that the officials missed it completely. There was no flag. Well, let's hope it's not serious. There he is. He's up and moving. Great.
Bosworth over there on the coverage, and Perriman stretched out on that Miami bench. Second and goal for Testeverde and the Canes. They bring Oliver wide to the right. Dives toward the end zone, and he is short.
He wanted that, didn't he?
And Bosworth didn't want to let him have it. He and Dixon hammered away. Jimmy Johnson with Pat O'Brien. Let's go to Pat. Pat.
Coach, what was the key to beating the team? What was the key?
We were the best football team. I said that before the game.
Congratulations, number 1 team now.
I made no bones about it before the game. I said we were the best team.
Congratulations. Let's get the breath.
All right, Coach Jimmy Johnson said it, and then he proved it. The Canes at number 1. We'll be right back after this word from your local stations. NFL action will start with the NFL today at 12:30 Eastern. Once again, our final score, it was Miami 28, Oklahoma 16. Oklahoma at Miami has been a presentation of CBS Sports. So long, everybody. Vinny Testeverde authored the story here today, and his father and mother were right there to celebrate this tremendous victory with him. See you tomorrow, everybody.
Will be voted into the All-Star game, and each says the other is more deserving of going.
South Beach.
South Beach is an option if you don't go to the All-Star game. Yes, Harold. Travis Hafner, for you, not an option. Batting .457.
Look at that. That ball slicing.
When you hit a ball that hard and it moves that much, I mean, you just absolutely hit one on the screws.
Well, Hafner still got a screwdriver out there.
Watch out, buildings.
3-run shot to center. Hafner.
Look at where that ball landed.
7-zip. He's up again. Oh, hang him and bang him.
He missed that one. Yeah. He did.
Hey, he missed from hitting it up there in them trees.
I'm telling you, he didn't get all that. That's how strong he is.
16th of the year. You're looking at Scott Ellerton.
That's a funky motion right there.
9 innings work, 6 hits, 6 strikeouts. First complete game of the season for Ellerton. Hafner was the offensive hero. The Tribe has won 8 of 10 and 20 of their last 27.
They're having a little bit too much fun.
They're 33-18 since May 9th.
Fun is winning, and winning is fun.
14 of the last 20 games.
He told me that.
Let's get to game 2. Maybe the fun will continue for the Indians. Justin Verlander, Major League debut for Detroit.
Verlander.
It looked that way. Victor Martinez, pitch high, and he rocks it into right center. Coco Crisp had his engines run, and he scores 1-zip. Johnny Peralta rolls one over. Trouble. Here comes Ben Broussard. Play at the plate. The inside slide.
Putting pressure on those outfielders, man. People are running hard.
Oh, Coco Crisp against Fernando Rodney. This one to deep center. Nuke Logan.
Crackle, not enough pop.
Logan got popped. Yeah. Waved around third.
Counts the same. It just takes a lot more energy.
He's flying, too.
Vance Wilson didn't have that ball when the tag was applied. Inside the park homer. 8 for Crisp. Woo! He got that one.
So Vance Wilson was in the game in the 8th.
The Travis Hafner performance.
Thrown out in the 9th.
Hafner's 3rd home run of the doubleheader made it 6-zip. Now Wilson at the plate gets punched out by Chris Guccione, and
so that's one of those, we weren't getting that pitch all night.
Yeah.
6-0. That was a little late to argue. Whoops.
Ooh.
And the manager, Alan Trammell, stood in between them, and then Vance Wilson was picked up by another umpire, Angel Hernandez. That's off for the down goes Angel. Must have tripped on the grass there.
That's funny. Tell me you're not laughing at home. That's funny.
I can hear them laughing now.
There you go.
Indians win at 6-zip. Angel Hernandez is laughing. Rocky's got a belly thing going here. He's doubled over in laughter as well. Those things happen. So does something like Travis Hafner. Cleveland is now 10 games over 500. The first home run in Game 1 was the most impressive.
Which one?
The first one in Game 1.
Every
I couldn't
one of
be
them
more specific.
Well, Carl, this guy is just an absolute horse. I mean, anytime you can stick a guy, I don't care if he's right-handed, left-handed, in this case with Travis Hafner, left-handed, you stick him in the middle of your lineup, you have good positive things, and then you build your lineup around this guy, and he makes everyone better. The thing is with him, he doesn't care if it's left-handers, right-handers, whoever's pitching. And it doesn't matter if it's a breaking ball right there from Bronson Royal. And you've been to Boston a lot, Carl. That's a bomb right there.
That's a long shot.
That is a long one. Now, this is another home run at Cleveland. I mean, this guy just, I mean, the extension he gets, you watch the balance. But there's another thing he can do, too. I mean, most power hitters can't go the other way and give themselves up and hit a single. That's what makes this guy so special. So what do? He can go the other way. He can pull it. He can hit it to center. He just hits that bomb to center. Okay, let's throw a lefty in, and he throws him a breaking ball. But you notice the one thing about his swing against righty, lefty, it doesn't change. It's the same exact swing against both sides of the play, against both sides of the pitcher's mound. And when you can get that consistency, that's why this guy will probably never go into a prolonged slump, because of that balance and consistency in his swing. Plus, he's not afraid to give himself up, go the other way, and take a single when he has to.
How about he and Teixeira, two of the best young power-hitting left-handed hitters we have seen? I mean, that first one was as far a ball as we've seen hit in Cleveland this year, I think. Into those trees, that's a massive shot.
Roy Hobbs type stuff.
Twins and the Angels, for those who missed it. John Lackey has been very, very good. And he is cruising early. Joe Mauer inning over. Bottom one, Carlos Silva's on the hill.
Chief.
Sean Figgins, Jay Strongbow, doubles deep to right.
I'll tell you, man, there's got to be a spot for utility men in the All-Star game.
Harold.
Plays everywhere.
Living on the edge. Darren Erstad, that one is hit hard. Fourth of the year. 2-0 in favor of the Angels. In the second inning, John Lackey. Still 2-zip. But here come those Twinkies. 2-2, Juan Castro. Anderson watches it go off the wall. That's a double for Castro. Run comes in to score. And it is now 3-2 Minnesota, so they have gotten to John Lackey a little bit.
That's been the problem with him the last couple outings I've seen, is getting through the lineup again. Great stuff early and hasn't been able to get through the lineup.
Let's get to the White Sox. They started late because of a rain delay. 6-1. Not anymore. 3-run shot. That one off Brandon McCarthy. It is now 6-4. Off goes Yickety Yak. 7th of the season, so it is Chicago 6 and the Devil Dogs 4.
Fight to the end, Carl. Fight to the end. That's all Tampa Bay has. You play first place team, you try to beat them. I mean, even though it's July, you got to try to be spoilers this early.
Are they going to get to 70 wins?
Probably not. Probably not. By the way, did you note that Frank Thomas got a hit and it wasn't a home run? It was a double.
Well, he legged it out.
Yeah, 9 of his 15 hits have been home runs this season, but he did get a double. Before we get to the White Sox, you gave Harold that look, which made me think you wanted to speak about this utility player in the All-Star game.
Oh, boy.
See, I'm privy to those things that the people at home aren't. You don't agree with that?
No, because if they were all-stars are your best players. If you're an all-star, you're not a utility player.
But you've argued against
if you're good enough to be an all-star, you should be good enough to play one position and play
You know what? The unique ability to be able to play all the different positions, there is a spot on your roster for a utility guy.
You're right.
Period.
Very valuable to a team, for the team concept to win, but not an all-star. An all-star is someone who plays every single day and puts up big numbers.
That doesn't make sense. Not every pitcher throws every single day. Not every closer is going to pitch every single day. They have a designated spot. A few years ago, they said, oh, the middle reliever is important, so they brought middle relievers to the All-Star game. Same thing with the utility man. The guy who can play every day to give guys a rest and you don't miss a beat should be in the All-Star game.
If this were around the horn, Harold 2 points.
Thank you.
Muted.
Well, you two agree on everything. That's perfect.
Paul's the first time he's agreed with me all summer.
The top 5 web gems from July 4th. And a reminder, a look at all the plays from June. And that one from Kenny Rogers. Should he be an all-star? Baseball's answer to that question when we come back.
Tattoo on the lower back. Might as well be a bullseye. John and Jeremy have rules about crashing weddings. Rule number 1, have a good name. Chuck Vendela, Chuck Schwartz, Bobby O'Shea. I'm ready to get drunk. Rule number 6, have a good line.
You know how they say we only use 10% of our brains? I think we only use 10% of our hearts.
Rule number 32, never get attached.
Don't ever leave me.
Ever.
Because I'd find you.
Wedding Crashers, rated R, starts July 15th. We could go to a baseball game.
Or we could go to the Home Depot and work in the yard.
You could go to the Home Depot with a Major League Baseball player and work in the yard.
Okay.
The Home Depot has what you need for a Major League yard. Miracle Grow, Roundup, Orthomax, Scott's Turf Builder, and more.
Look at that yard. I'm pretty good at this.
Maybe too good.
Well, I had a dream. I stood beneath an orange sky.
The multifunctional element.
Yes, I had a dream. I
from Honda.
Stood beneath an orange sky.
Where will it take you?
All right, kids, today we're gonna rob a home run, and this is how it's done.
Major League Baseball Charities is a proud partner of Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
Come on, you gotta rob back.
You guys want to know about the Rally Cab? Make a big W. This is an important part of baseball.
Through programs like RBI and Rookie League, they bring baseball and softball to kids around the world.
Ooh, you're supposed to jump.
Together, they create a positive place for kids.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh!
Later on SportsCenter, the most memorable 4th of July moments in sports. And the baseball fan who walked from Arizona all the way to Wrigley. Plus, Coney Island goes to the Dogs. SportsCenter, after baseball tonight.
We're back. Laughter continues. Red Sox Rangers. Wade Miller winless in his last 5 starts. Looked like he'd be winless in his last 6, the way this one started. Michael Young, Wade's got it. Who's there? Nobody. And that basically opened up the gates with both men safe in what should have been a double play. Blaylock singled into right. Delucci and Michael Young both score. And the Strangers are up by a score of 2-zip. Alfonso Soriano comes up next. Look out. Oh. That goes to center. Mark Teixeira scores.
Hey, you calling that one?
Nicely cut off by Millar.
To show the range of Kevin Millar.
Rangers up 3-zip. Bases loaded. Manny, what? Whoa! Ricardo wanted no part of it.
Well, no matter how much you're up against the old Texas Rangers,
how we
they can give it up.
How we looking now? Wild one.
Boy.
Edgar Renteria's going to score. Red Sox down 3-2. Garage door wide open at this point. Top 6 down 3-2. Man on for Nixon. Flares one in the left. No flair there. David Ortiz comes around to score. And this bad boy tied at 3. Boston batting top 7. Johnny Damon full count, swing and a drive. That's Nix. Busy out in center field tonight. Tracking balls down. Must be a fireworks night in Texas, too. Boston's a big draw, but they banged the place out. 3-3, good game. All of a sudden became a pitcher's duel. Wade Miller settled in with 8 Ks, 5 walks, and of course the Rangers now into their bullpen. A home run so far in this game. It's a little bit odd. A lot of discussion about Kenny Rogers and, of course, his behavior and his 20-game suspension, which he has since been appealed. Baseball's answer to this whole thing when they were asked was he's appealing it, and just like any other time a player appeals something, he can continue to play. So if Rogers decides he wants to be an All-Star and go to the game, he's going to be an All-Star. You were pretty vocal about the fact that he shouldn't be. Has your opinion changed at all?
No, absolutely not. I think he should go. Like you said, it's on appeal. And again, you have to remember now, back a few years, there was someone who got suspended but still was allowed to play in the postseason, and the suspended started the following year. So I think Kenny Rogers should be allowed to go to the All-Star game.